Hey guys, TRex here, and here for this installment of my hypothetical Nintendo Cinematic Universe. This is the second to last video on this that I am doing. This installment is Super Smash Bros. World of Light and Darkness, Part 1. But there's some things you need to know before we proceed into this story. There will be events that take place before the start of this movie that I did not mention to you guys before. But before we get into that, let's talk about the characters. So everyone, this is a doozy, okay? We got Mario, Link, Samus, Luigi, Zelda, Peach, Daisy, Pit, Palutena, Rosalina, Wario, Waluigi, Mark, who is Red/Pokemon trainer, Kirby, Meta Knight, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Ness, Lucas, Marth, Ike, Lucina, Robin, Fox, Falco, I can go on all day, Olimar, Captain Falcon, Ice Climbers, Pikachu, Mewtwo, Bowser, Ganondorf, Shulk, Master Core, Galeem, and Darkin. For the setting, we have Chushin, which is where the Super Smash Bros. Headquarters is in. We have the Mushroom Kingdom, Hyrule, Bionis. My Xenoblade fans will know what that is. The Dark Realm and the Light Realm. Everyone, before I get started with the story, I just want you guys to know something. This may just be part 1 of this part 2 event for Super Smash Bros. But this story, let me just tell you right now, in my personal opinion, I think it bangs. So the events that will take place before this story. The things that occur before the beginning of this movie, besides the other videos of the MCU that I mentioned, the obligatory things that happen is a Luigi's Mansion miniseries, that's one of them, which will take place in between Super Mario Bros. All-Stars and this movie, which after the Mario Bros. Needed a place to live since their parents' home was destroyed, they discovered that a mansion was being built, but behold, it was King Boo's plan, and he's finally out for revenge since the first Mario Bros. Movie. They team up against King Boo, they're triumphant over King Boo, and they take the mansion. So that's kind of that. A Kirby series, which will explain mainly Kirby and Meta Knight's relationship, and also introduce King DDD. And I'd want a Fire Emblem, either movie or series, maybe a trilogy, I don't know. But I'd want that mainly just to introduce these upcoming Fire Emblem characters. And I'd probably want a Xenoblade movie to explain Shulk's origins. It'll get covered here, but just so you guys have some prior knowledge, as well as a Kid Icarus movie or series, which would take place in between Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and this. So the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess will reveal Pit in the end credit scene, but then Pit will kind of have his origin to kind of explain how he got there, as well as Palutena. And then the optional stuff we can have is a Star Fox thing, an F-Zero thing, which is Captain Falcon, Earthbound/Mother, introducing Lucas along with Ness. A Donkey Kong thing could be optional, introducing King K. Rool and the other Kongs, and Pikmin, because I don't want to leave Olimar in the dust. I'm open for other kinds of spin-offs to take place before, but what I'm explaining to you guys now is the main storyline. So I hope you guys are ready for this story, and without further ado, let's get started with this 2-part event of Super Smash Bros. World of Light and Darkness. This is part 1, a 2-part series that I have planned to finish the saga. So now, let's get started with the plot points. So the Dark Realm is shown, and despite it being called the Dark Realm, it has numerous colors in the sky, and it's very beautiful in scenery throughout the blackness of the realm. Think of the Dark Realm in the Smash Ultimate storyline. It's kind of like that. A glowing, multicolored sphere floats throughout the Dark Realm with a purple core at the center. It hears a slight boom noise in the distance and floats over to where it came from. It ends up on a ledge looking down at someone performing magic. Ganondorf is shown using magic, showing Link and Midna, and what Ganondorf is doing is he's showing Link and Midna a glimpse of the Dark Realm from the Twilight Realm. So what's happening right now is happening at the same time as Link and Ganondorf's final battle in Twilight Princess, the previous installment before this. The sphere descends to where Ganondorf is, remaining out of sight, and sees them through the window to the Twilight Realm. It looks over in the Dark Realm and sees the dim glowing ball with his wings of light being contained by chains of darkness. And it also sees Mario barely standing, then collapsing and losing consciousness. As if you guys have been following along, you remember when all this was happening at the same time. For Mario's end, it was Super Mario Bros. All-Stars post-credit scene, when Galeem is finally revealed to Mario from the visions he's been having. The sphere seems to recognize Mario and begins reshaping its body to mirror Mario's with a cosmic purple look all over and yellow eyes. Think of the cosmic prankster galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy, this goober that Mario races. Think of him with yellow eyes. That's basically what this thing turns into. A mirrored version of Mario, but with cosmic all around his body. Just keep that in mind. It gazes back through the Twilight Realm and sees the complete Triforce on Ganondorf's hand, and appears intrigued. The life form, which is this this now cosmic Mario kind of thing, glances up as the glimpse of the light realm opens up. Light is in the sky of the dark realm, and the unknown Mario-shaped life form sees it, and is amazed to see what looks like a dark monster with a singular eyeball looking down into the Twilight Realm. The life form is stunned and mutters its name, Darken, as the gateway to the light realm gets closed off again. The life form looks back at Ganondorf, who had looked back at Mario for a moment before making them disappear from the dark realm. Do you guys remember when Ganondorf showed Link and Midna the glimpses of the different realms? That's basically what happened here, and now we're just looking at a different perspective. Mario then disappears as well, leaving the dim glowing ball alone with the chains of darkness around it. The life form moves to the glowing ball's position, and as its new Mario-shaped form, it starts a confrontation with the glowing ball with wings, acknowledging him as Galeem, mentioning how far he's fallen. The glowing ball is very dim, but lights up slightly after hearing his name, responding with the life form's name, Master Core. Master Core in Mario's form laughs, saying he can still tell who it is. Galeem coldly tells Master Core no disguise can fool him, even after being here for millennia. Master Core tells Galeem that he has just discovered that his master, Lord Darken, is still alive, seeing him personally in the Light Realm after seeing Galeem's state. Galeem tells him it doesn't matter whether or not he knows about them, since Master Core must be accepted to enter the Light Realm, in which he never would be. Galeem continues, saying it's ironic to bring up how far Galeem's fallen when his master Darken suffers the same fate Galeem does. Master Core tells him that it understands Galeem concealing its presence and this knowledge from him, as he knows Darken would rightfully take back what's his. And now that the Master Core has seen the two of them in their opposite realms, it knows how to get Darken back. Galeem repeats himself, saying that Master Core would need to be accepted into the Light Realm, and the gods and representatives, you guys don't know who that is yet, would never let him in. Master Core says he has his ways to get to the Light Realm, and when he finds Darken, perhaps Darken will have new plans for Galeem. Master Core begins walking away, and Galeem, still weak, asks Galeem he does know what would happen if Darken were to be freed, correct? Master Core turns around and smiles, telling Galeem change is coming whether he likes it or not, and departs, leaving Galeem there contained with the chains. Now there's a montage of Master Core walking through the Dark Realm, with various shots showing the darkness and the colors of the Dark Realm, when he eventually finds an area littered with black particles. Master Core steps up to them, asking what they've done to them. Master Core prepares magic from his hands and eventually stirs life into the particles, making them form into 3 different creatures of darkness, forming the Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges. So far, you might recognize these Master creatures from Smash Bros. 4 on the Wii U, but here, they're a little bit different. Creatures made of black particles with fiery light inside of their bodies. These are what they look like. The Master Core greets them as his comrades, his brothers, and the Master Edges as a sister, and tells them of great news. They thought their god was dead since their last battle, but now he knows he is contained in the Light Realm. The Master Core tells his fellow masters the time has come to release Darken from his prison, and Master Edges, the only one who can speak to Master Core, asks him how he plans to do that. Master Core tells his crew he's been scouring different universes, and unfortunately, he found out that something he created long ago in one of these universes that could have been useful in this situation has been destroyed since their last battle. However, he says he's discovered a more than capable replacement from the universe of Hylia that is capable of cross-dimensional travel. The Masters are amazed, and Master Core says it saw a man use this object to peer into the light and dark realms, and if they acquire this object, they can use it to get to the Light Realm. The Masters are overjoyed, and the Master Core sees multitudes of more black particles behind everyone. Master Core uses more magic, and the black particles begin forming into an army of dark creatures. They roar and eventually distort their bodies to resemble hand troops and other various kinds of dark creatures. They're not all hand troops. So, moving to a different scene, Mario does some narrating, doing a recap and updating the audience about some things that have happened since Super Mario Bros. All-Stars and now. So what Mario's basically going to do is he's going to talk about what happened since he collapsed in the Dark Realm, since he saw Galeem, and what he's up to now. So if you guys are confused, Mario's about to explain it. Mario says it all started when he went to return the subspace particle to Chushin after borrowing it to defeat Titando when he collapsed, entering a much more intense vision than previous ones of a glowing ball of light, and discovering its true location, detained with mysterious chains in a dark yet colorful environment, which is the Dark Realm. He mentions waking up from the vision and seeing Samus over him and Chushin asking what happened, which was the last Metroid end credit scene. He weakly says the particle, gesturing it to Samus. He weakly apologizes, saying he was borrowing it, but Samus cuts him off, telling him to just tell her what happened once she she puts the particle away. Mario begins losing consciousness again as he sees a strange angel-looking figure descending over him. After Samus returns the subspace particle to the vault with the other 3 particles that the Super Smash Bros. Have been holding onto, Samus sees Pit kneeling over a passed-out Mario, and he introduces himself as Pit, telling Samus Mario's visions brought him here. Samus asks Pit how he knows who they are, and Pit says he keeps tabs, and he'll know where to find them once Mario gets more of an understanding of what happened to him, asking Samus to speak with him about the visions. Samus agrees, and Pit enters a different kind of portal with golden light, different from a subspace portal, disappearing with the portal. Mario wakes up, and Samus asks Mario about the visions. Mario continues narrating, saying since then he's been meeting with Samus once a week for an hour on Chushin, with her practically forcing Mario to update her about any more visions he's been having of this glowing ball. In the session, Mario says they're not as bad in the Mushroom Kingdom as they are here on Chushin, sarcastically bringing up the fact that Samus is bringing him here every week. Samus is annoyed and tells Mario she's been asked to learn more about Mario's visions to find out why they're happening, and Mario asks by who. She won't tell him who asked her to do this, or who that angel person was. Samus stays silent, and Mario asks if they can't just go to the Mushroom Kingdom to do these sessions, bringing up that they can get a few beers from his house. Samus says that she is a recovering alcoholic, and Mario freezes in awkward silence, saying he brought a Dr. Mario. Mario holds up a can of Dr. Pepper, rebranded as Dr. Mario from the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario continues narrating, bringing up his adventure with Luigi when the mansion showed up off the coast of Toad Town, and how King Boo set it up as a trap, attempting to take revenge on the Mario Bros for what they did to him in the very first movie in this saga. Mario says they defeated him and the ghost there, and now they live in the mansion. But as a result of their adventure, he missed the weekly session with Samus, in which he was not pleased and wasn't exactly buying his story. So as a result of the Luigi's Mansion miniseries, Mario missed one of the sessions with Samus. That's basically what he's saying. But today, Mario showed up to Chushin to do the next session, but Samus was nowhere to be seen in the base. Mario says he looked all around, and remembered that if the instructor doesn't show up for the first 15 minutes of the session, he is legally allowed to leave. He waits 15 minutes, and when Samus never shows up, he says he got the hell out of there, just in time for his tee-off for the annual Mushroom Kingdom golf tournament. He says throughout that 15 minutes, though, he did wonder where Samus was, and that she never missed a session before, as in these weekly sessions they've been having about Mario's visions. Pit is revealed in the Golden Lapis Palace, and he observes the glass blue sphere, discovering that something very bad happened to Hyrule, then revealing Samus is there with him. If you guys remember the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess end credit scene, that's what's coming up here. Pit asks Samus if she could find Link and Zelda, and Samus says she'd be more than happy to. Before they leave, Pit asks Samus what she found out about Mario's visions. Samus says they're not as bad now, but they're too inconsistent, so she can't really draw any conclusions. Pit understands and tells Samus it might be better if Mario knows who he's seeing, though it would be a lot to process. That was Pit's goal, that Mario would kind of get used to these visions so he'd be comfortable telling him about the visions he's been seeing. That's why he had Samus do it, a familiar face. Pit suggests they go to the Mushroom Kingdom first, and Mario, still narrating, is confused by this, asking how they got all the way here, because this is Mario's voiceover over Pit and Samus. Mario says we might have gone a bit too far, and the screen rewinds. Eventually, the Kingdom of Hyrule is shown in a great state, just a few days after Ganondorf's defeat and death, thanks to Link and Zelda and Midna in the previous installment. So now at this point, Ganondorf is dead. A strange, colorful, yet dark portal opens up in the outskirts of Hyrule, and Master Core, the fellow masters, which is like the Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges, and an army of dark creatures emerges from the portal. The Master Core turns to his army, declaring that the object they are searching for is here, and with it the darkness will reign over the multiverse. Link is seen in Hyrule Castle with Zelda, comforting her, and telling her she'll be able to continue her duties as queen. Zelda smiles and puts her arms around Link, telling him she'll need the best counsel possible in order to do that. Link says it would be his pleasure, and Link and Zelda kiss. Link briefly opens his eyes, looking out the window and sees something strange. He looks concerned and gently removes his kiss, looking outside, with Zelda asking what's wrong. He can see the outskirts of Hyrule and an army of dark creatures charging it. He asks what that is. There are multitudes of hand troops and dark creatures racing towards Hyrule, and as they get closer, the people start to see it and freak out. Link grows apprehensive, recognizing the hand troops, bringing up the fact that the subspace particles aren't here, because that's what the hand troops were after last time. In the last Super Smash Bros. Movie, the hand troops troops after the subspace particles. Zelda looks deeply concerned, saying, "But the Triforce is." Link asks what they would want with the Triforce, and Zelda doesn't know, but either way, they have to get it from the Light Temple. Link goes to the corner of the room and gets his fierce deity mask. Zelda asks if it's okay if he uses it, knowing that when he used it last time, it used up an immense amount of his stamina. Link tells her he'll have to make it count then. Link and Zelda sprint out of the castle and head for the Light Temple as the creatures of darkness and hand troops get to Hyrule. Master Core steps foot in Hyrule in his Mario form and tells the Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges to find the object. Master Beast and Master Giant are both enormous, and they start wreaking havoc on Hyrule. As Link and Zelda sprint to the Light Temple, a lady is about to get crushed by a falling boulder. However, Link uses his Master Sword to slice right through the stone, saving the lady. These dark creatures are much more ruthless than Ganondorf's troops. They begin killing people that can't get to safety fast enough. Master Beast rampages in and lunges its open mouth into the ground, consuming several people in its target area. Master Giant then rampages in, stampeding over anyone in its path, and lands a heavy punch on one of the towers of Hyrule Castle, making it collapse and crush several people below. Link and Zelda try desperately to save everyone they can, but casualties begin rising higher and higher as Hyrule starts turning into a bloodbath, with Hyrule's military attempting to stop the creatures of darkness. Zelda uses magic to communicate with the Sages of Light, ordering them to bring out the Triforce. The Sages of Light each manipulate a piece of the Triforce with magic, meeting Zelda and Link halfway. The Triforces of Power and Wisdom go to Zelda's hand, and the Triforce of Courage goes to Link's hand. Zelda asks Link if he needs any other pieces, and Link says wait. Link removes the Triforce of Courage and tells Zelda she's one of the most courageous people he's ever known, and if she has a connection to Hylia, there's no question she'd be worthy of wielding all three pieces of the Triforce. Zelda asks what about Link, and Link says he'll be fine, gesturing to his fierce deity mask. Zelda hesitantly takes the Triforce of Courage and puts it on her hand, completing the Triforce. The full Triforce is compatible with Zelda, and Link and Zelda rush to defend Hyrule, with Link putting on his fierce deity mask, becoming fierce deity Link. Several creatures of darkness have a dozen citizens of Hyrule cornered and terrified, and the creatures prepare to kill them. But just before then, though, a blast of golden powerful magic blows them away, saving the Hylians. The Master Core smiles at the blast, saying there it is. Link and Zelda show up, with Zelda furious, telling them that's enough. Master Core, towards the back of the group of the dark creatures, looks at Link and Zelda, and feels a powerful aura coming from Zelda. He tells his fellow masters the object resides with the girl, and to pry it off of her. The creatures avert their attention from the people and charge at Link and Zelda. Wearing the fierce deity mask, Link is able to hold his own with his powerful Master Sword, as Zelda uses immense Triforce power and magic to kill multiple dark creatures at once. The Master Core admires Link and Zelda's power, and eventually Link's Master Sword builds up enough energy. Link tells Zelda to get down, and Link twirls his body and sword around, releasing numerous energy slices from his sword in all directions, killing all the dark creatures that swarmed him and Zelda. Link finally sees the Master Core, confused as to why he looks like Mario, and he and Zelda start a confrontation with him, with Master Core introducing himself as, well, the Master Core. Link asks why he looks like Mario, and Master Core tells him he takes on the form of the one who killed Taboo. Link chuckles and says he should look like Link then. Master Core scoffs, saying Link may have fired the final arrow through Taboo's heart, but Mario was the one who used the 3 remaining subspace particles to finish off Taboo for good. The Master Core tells Link and Zelda all this bloodshed could stop once she hands over the object. Zelda looks at her hand with the Triforce on it and tells them it doesn't matter what they want with the Triforce. They killed innocent people to get to it, so she will never let them take it. Master Core admires the name, the Triforce, and tells them he saw a powerful being use the Triforce from the Dark Realm, and he opened up a brief gateway from the Twilight Realm to the Light and Dark Realms with it, where he saw his master trapped in the Light Realm. Link remembers Ganondorf showing Link the different realms from the Twilight Realm, and concludes that the Master Core was there somewhere and watched it unfold. The Master Core tells them he will use the object to scorch the multiverse and cover it in darkness. Link and Zelda both charge at Master Core, and Zelda and Master Core clash energy beams of magic at each other, as Link charges him from the side with the Master Sword. Master Core breaks from the blast and counters Link's attack, distorting the ground beneath them to make Link fall through a fissure. Link pierces his sword through the side of the ground and propels himself up with his sword, back above the ground just before Master Core can reform the ground together and crush Link. They continue fighting and eventually get to a bridge overlooking a large river leading away from Hyrule. Even with Zelda wielding the full Triforce, Master Core has more experience with magic and can distort the environment around him to throw off both of them, gaining the upper hand over Link and Zelda. Zelda. Eventually, the Master Core, Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges, along with their remaining creatures of darkness, have Link and Zelda pinned to the edge of the bridge. Not the Bridge of Elden, just a different bridge. The Master Core is impressed how much of a fight they put up against him, despite how young they appear. Zelda and Link both glare at him as Master Core extends his hand out, asking for the Triforce, and this will all be painless. Zelda gets an idea, and releases a great surge of light, throwing everyone off. Zelda calls to Hylia to lend Zelda her power, and to not let the complete Triforce fall into the wrong hands. Zelda gains more golden power and touches Link on his shoulder, making him strain in pain. She looks over at Link and apologizes to him, leaving him confused. The light wears off, and seemingly nothing happened as a result of that. The Master Core laughs, asking if that was it. The Triforce, one of the most powerful objects of light he's ever seen, wasted in whatever attack that was supposed to be. Master Core commands his troops to seize her, and dark creatures promptly knock Link out of the way and seize Zelda. Link cries no and tries to get them away from Zelda, but Master Core, bored, tells his fellow masters to get Link out of here. Master Core forces Link into the air with magic, and Master Giant prepares a devastating punch, directly hitting Link in midair and sending him soaring far enough to not be able to see him anymore. That's how far he got punched. Link lands in the river with a brutal impact, and he lies limply in the river as the river takes him away from Hyrule. Zelda cries for Link, and Master Core tells Zelda they'll take her back with them once they figure out how to get the Triforce out of her, or just force her to open the gateway to different realms herself. Master Core opens a portal to the Dark Realm, taking Zelda with them as prisoner, and the dark creatures and fellow masters all go through as Link continues flowing down the river. Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy are nearing the end of the Mushroom Kingdom golf tournament. That's right, they've been playing golf this whole time, as the pipe out in the distance containing the Mushroom Kingdom subspace portal opens up with Samus not wearing her power suit, emerging from it. After the tournament is over, Samus waits for them as they come by, and Luigi points her out, greeting her. The four welcome Samus, and Mario apologizes about the session. It's just that Samus never showed up for it. Samus says there's a reason for that, and Pit emerges from behind her, introducing himself. Mario recognizes Pit's wings, and Pit asks Samus, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy to come with him back to Chushin. As the group approaches the Mushroom Kingdom subspace portal, Pit tells the group that something happened to Link and Zelda. Peach asks what happened, and Pit says he doesn't know. Only 1 minute when he saw Hyrule from the Light Realm, Hyrule was fine, but then the next minute, Hyrule was in ruins and Link and Zelda were gone. Daisy wonders about that, as well as the Light Realm, and Mario and Luigi ask what they can do. Pit says he'd look for them himself, but he can't stray away from the Light Realm for too long, and he must return to Palutena's side. So therefore he asks them to help Samus find Link and Zelda in Hyrule. The Mario Bros understand, and Peach and Daisy volunteer to go as well. Before they go though, Pit stops Mario and tells him he knows about the visions he's been having, and offers to give Mario some clarity on that once they return from Hyrule. Mario nods, and the five go through the subspace portal as Pit returns to the Light Realm. At Chushin, Mario asks who attacked Hyrule, and Samus says they don't know, only that whoever did it quickly, and was powerful enough to make Link and Zelda disappear in the process. Luigi activates subspace energy on the post for the portals in the Super Smash Bros. Base, and the portal to Hyrule opens up. Before they go to Hyrule, Luigi pulls Mario aside and suggests that these visions that Mario is going through could lead to the prophecy that the cosmos prophesized for them. That theme that the Mario Bros have been facing. Mario tells Luigi they'll give it all they got then. The five, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Samus, make it to Hyrule, and everyone there sees it for the first time, admiring the view from where the portal is. Luigi asks Samus how they're going to find Link and Zelda, and Samus says her suit can track the locations of the Super Smash Bros. Armbands, or wristbands, everyone has as long as they're in the same realm. You guys know this from earlier, all the Super Smash Bros. They have the same matching wristbands, and Samus can track them as long as they're in the same universe. So that'll be useful here. The four light up in joy, but Samus says there's a problem. She only sees one armband signal here. The Dark Creatures and Master Core bring Zelda to the Dark Realm, to a massive rocky facility, which is established as their base, and they shove Zelda to the ground, with the full Triforce still on her hand. Pissed off, she prepares to release a powerful blast of magic when Master Core stops her in her tracks with magic, telling her to not use the Triforce before it's useful. The Dark Creatures extend her hand forward, activating a powerful spell to force the Triforce pieces out of her. Zelda begins screaming in pain, fighting the spell and trying to prevent the Master Core from ripping the Triforce pieces from her hand. The two magic users fight for the Triforce, with Zelda tearing up from the pain, and Master Core tells her in the process they shouldn't have left one of the most powerful objects of light with an adolescent Peña listened, and with that, the Triforce is split from Zelda's hand, and Zelda collapses forward. However, the Master Core notices something wrong. Only 2 of the pieces emerged from Zelda. The Master Core looks down at her hand and sees one of the pieces still in there. Frustrated, he gets Zelda's hand back out and uses more magic to try and force out the last Triforce piece. Zelda strains, but is not in as much pain as before. Master Core asks what this is, and the Triforce piece on Zelda's hand flickers on and off before the light eventually goes out. Master Core is stunned and furiously asks Zelda what she did. Zelda puts on a pained smile, and in her mind it's revealed that Zelda called to Hylia to remove the Triforce of Courage from her and replace it with pure light to make it look like she had all 3 pieces, revealing what she did to not let the complete Triforce fall into the wrong hands. Link is still seen unconscious and at the edge of a riverbank when Samus, Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy find him. It's revealed that the Triforce of Courage is on his hand now, repeating Zelda's apology to Link in his head. Peach is seen using her heart power to heal Link's injuries, and Link eventually wakes up, seeing everyone there. He looks down at the fierce deity mask next to him and sees that it's completely shattered, concluding that's why he survived Master Giant's punch, because the mask mostly received the direct hit. Mario kneels down next to him, asking Link what happened and where Zelda is. Link softly says they took her, and he passes out again. The group takes Link back to the base on Chujin and lets him recover. Mario asks Link what he means they took her. Link says they were after the Triforce, and they knew Zelda was wielding it. If Link would have just wielded them himself, he could have prevented Zelda from being taken by them. The group assures Link it's not his fault, and Samus asks Link who took Zelda. Link says they were creatures of darkness, and the one leading them called himself the Master Core, and that he looked like Mario. Everyone is very confused to hear this, and Link says he had a cosmic look to him, like his whole body was covered by how a galaxy would look, and that he had yellow eyes. Mario clarifies that this guy must know who Mario is, clearly, and Link says he told him that he took on Mario's form because he says Mario is the one who killed Taboo. Mario asks what Taboo has to do with this. All of a sudden, another light portal opens up, and Pit comes out of it, after having seen that they were able to recover Link, with Link and Pit meeting for the first time. Link strains trying to get up, saying he has to get Zelda back. The group stops him, saying that even if they had a plan to get her back, they don't know where they took Zelda. Pit finds out from the group that the Master Core took Zelda, and finds out that they must have taken Zelda to the Dark Realm if Samus couldn't find Zelda's armband on Hyrule. Link asks how they can get there, and Pit says that the light representatives can open light portals to any realm, but if they did that now, it would be too risky with just them. Mario asks what he means, and Pit tells them that some of the hand troops have subspace and light sensitivity like the Master Hand, meaning that if a light or subspace portal were to open in the same realm as those specific hand troops, they'd know about it and they would have no stealth advantage. Samus asks what they would need, and Pit says the only way they can possibly hope to get Zelda back by doing this method would be to gather the rest of the team. The group looks at each other, and Luigi clarifies they're about to ask the team to come together again. They all look prepared, and Mario looks at his Smash Ball wristband. In the Dark Realm, Zelda is seen shaking on the ground in immense pain as Master Core kneels down next to her. Master Core tells Zelda that was a bold trick to disguise the piece of the Triforce with pure light, and asks Zelda where the final Triforce piece is. Zelda glares at him, still straining. Master Core says it's with the boy, isn't it? Master Core says he could sense something about Link. Ferocity and determination. Master Core smiles, saying it reminded him of himself. Master Core says he is the highest ranking lieutenant for the most powerful being of darkness of all time, and the fact that he has been unaware of his whereabouts for millennia is nothing short of unforgivable. He says he'd end his own life right here in shame, but now he must be the one to set his lord free from his imprisonment. Only he would have the power to accomplish that, and the only way that would be possible is with the Triforce. So he doesn't care whether or not Zelda agrees with him. There is nothing that will sway his convictions or stop him until his master rises to power once again. He uses other magic in order to physically and psychologically torture Zelda, and she screams in pain again. Master Core commands the dark creatures to scour the universes and find the final piece of the Triforce. Zelda continues straining and tries to fight Master Core's magic with her own, unsuccessfully. The Star Fox team is seen entering a space battle, and Fox and Falco are seen flying their cruisers in a style-like fashion, and they're both shown having a tremendous amount of fun. One of their team members, Peppy Hare, reminds them what they're here for and they can't let this opportunity pass up. Fox says they did defeat Andros already, and all they're pretty much doing is clearing out the rest of his forces. Peppy rolls his eyes and agrees with Fox, but just wishes he wasn't as cocky as his father. Fox says not to worry, old man, they'll get this done. Falco affirms him, and the Star Fox team all flies with great coordination, destroying the numerous ships and cruisers that attempt to ambush them. Slippy Toad, another member, warns of a flank heading towards Falco, and Falco maneuvers his ship to avoid it and destroy destroy the ships coming towards him. Star Fox continues flying, and Fox ends up getting the last of Andross's forces. Star Fox celebrates getting the last of the fleet, and he asks his crew where they're getting drinks to celebrate. And now the Hoenn region and the Pokemon world is revealed, and Red is seen in a Pokemon battle with the Mauville City gym leader, Watson. Red puts his fainted Charizard away, and Watson laughs with his Electrode out. Red is slightly annoyed, and Watson asks who else Red has. Red smiles and sends in Blastoise, confirming that his Wartortle from the Smash Bros. Movie has evolved once again, saying that this is his last Pokemon. Watson warns him that this is a water type, and this could be dangerous for him, considering that Watson is an electric type user. Red's smile unwavers, and he tells Blastoise to use Earthquake. Watson freaks out and frantically tries to tell Electrode to use a move, but Blastoise successfully sends a powerful quake to the area Electrode is in, knocking the Pokemon out in one hit, fainting Watson's final Pokemon. Watson is stunned, but laughs as he had a great time battling. He shakes Red's hand, congratulating him on the win and giving him the Dynamo badge. Red thanks him, and Watson tells him that he'll get through the Hoenn region in no time if he keeps this up. Red shows his badges, telling Watson he got through the Kanto and Johto regions gym leaders, so that's his plan to go through all the gyms. Watson tells Red he should be proud of himself, and to remember that when weakness presents itself, there is always a way to push through and overpower it if he has friends that support him, which was exactly what that Pokemon battle was. When Blastoise was faced with a weakness, he overpowered it. As Red leaves the gym, he gets an alert on his Smash Ball wristband. Right after Fox asks this question to the fleet, Fox and Falco both get alerts on their Smash Ball wristbands as well. Several other of the fighters in different universes observe their wristbands as well, such as Kirby, Marth, Bowser, Wario, and Captain Falcon, and several others. Mario speaks, requesting the attention of all Super Smash Bros. Slippy Toad, Peppy, and the rest of the crew talk among themselves as Fox and Falco keep listening. Mario tells them that a potential multiversal threat has appeared, and that Zelda has been taken. They don't know what it is they want right now, and it would be a lot to explain to them over comms anyways, but they plan on using something called the Triforce from Link and Zelda's universe to do something that could affect everyone's universe. The Super Smash Bros. Around the multiverse appear apprehensive after hearing this. Mario continues, saying their plan is to rescue Zelda and get the Triforce back, but in order to do that, they need all hands on deck. Samus continues over her wristband, saying that if they have friends from their universe that can fight, they need them too. They hang up the call, and Captain Falcon stares in determination up ahead, looking at the subspace portal for his universe. Kirby and Meta Knight meet up, and they agree to go to Chushin. Marth approaches his friends, Ike, Lucina, and Robin, and brings up this issue to them. Sonic and his friends, Tails and Knuckles, are at the baseball field in Green Hills, and Sonic asks if they're in. Tails and Knuckles both smile, and Knuckles puts his fist out, with Sonic and Tails both giving him a power bump. Red is seen flying on Charizard to his home on a gate village, and he approaches the shrine at the end of the town, which contains the Pokemon World's subspace portal. He sets down a Pokemon, revealing it to be Pikachu. Red asks Pikachu if he's up for this, and Pikachu tells him absolutely, pumping himself up, because Pikachu can talk. Red and Pikachu go through the portal, and a mysterious figure watches them enter from one of the trees, showing part of its all-white body and purple tail. The group in Chushin approaches the portals, and Pit tells the group he can help fill them in more about the realms so they'll know what to expect. A montage is shown of the subspace portals in the Super Smash Bros. Base lighting up and eventually the fighters coming out of it. The Wario Bros, Yoshi, Birdo, Donkey and Diddy Kong, Bowser, Bowser Jr., Wario, and Waluigi emerge from the Mushroom Kingdom portal. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles emerge from the portal from Green Hill, and familiar and new faces emerge from several other portals. Waluigi admires the expensive base and says finally. Everyone who emerges from the portals are Red, Pikachu, Yoshi, Birdo, Bowser, Wario, Waluigi, Kirby, Meta Knight, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Ness, Lucas, Marth, Ike, Lucina, Robin, Fox, Falco, Olimar, and Captain Falcon. The team that emerged from the portals see the group there and are ready to find out what they came here for. Mario, Link, and Samus bring them to the conference room, and Mario and Link begin explaining what the situation is. A being called the Master Core raided Link and Zelda's home, searching for something called the Triforce. He plans to use the Triforce to access the different realms and scorch the multiverse and cover it in darkness. The team looks concerned, and Link speaks up, saying there are 3 pieces to the Triforce, each containing the virtues of power, wisdom, and courage. Zelda had previously wielded all 3 to try and stop the Master Core, but the Master Core ended up taking her and the Triforce with him. However, right before then, she left the Triforce of Courage with Link revealing the bright triangle on his hand. The team recognizes it from the first Super Smash Bros. Movie. Link says their mission is to recover Zelda and to keep all 3 pieces of the Triforce from falling into the Master Core's hands. Pit speaks up, saying they believe the Master Core took Zelda to the Dark Realm, and to get there, they need to go to the Light Realm and get get one of the light representatives to open a light portal for them to the Dark Realm. Captain Falcon asks what he means by representatives, and Pit smiles, saying if they come with him to the Light Realm, they'll find out. In a gate village, the unrevealed white figure reaches out its three-fingered hand to the subspace portal and begins summoning an immense amount of magic. An extreme close-up is shown of its pink eyes, and the figure concentrates intensely on the portal, building up energy. Master Core opens his eyes, still standing over Zelda, who is practically passed out at this point. Wielding the two pieces of the Triforce, he gets images of the energy buildup from the Pokemon world and where the signal went to, audibly saying Chushin. As several dark creatures start to leave through the Master Core's portals, he tells them to wait. He commands them all to go to Chushin, saying he just felt a massive energy surge come from there. All of a sudden, the Super Smash Bros. Get an alert from the portal system, saying there's been an unauthorized breach in one of the portals. The lights flicker on and off briefly, and the team sees which portal got breached. Red sees that it's the portal from the Pokemon world, and is bewildered, knowing he closed the portal behind him. Luigi asks what could have infiltrated the base, and that the entrances are sealed with subspace power. Security cams show a white blur rushing through the facility. Pikachu recognizes the blur as he briefly sees it, and tells the group they need to find that thing. Link asks what about getting to the Dark Realm. Pikachu says that if this thing is what he thinks it is, it could make a world of difference and could help them get Zelda back. Cams show the blur flying away from their base towards a mountain. Fox steps in and assembles a small team to follow it. Fox tells the full team he'll follow that thing and for everyone else to go to the Light Realm, saying they'll catch up once they're done. Fox brings Falco, Meta Knight, Captain Falcon, Wario, Knuckles, Kirby, Lucas, and Ness, with Red and Pikachu offering to come along as well. Fox hopes they can all fit in their cruisers, and after they bring one of the subspace particles with them, they race off in the direction the blur went off to. Pit asks everyone else if they're ready, and the light portal opens up and allows the rest of the Super Smash Bros. To enter. There is a brief moment when all the Super Smash Bros. And Pit are engulfed in light, and eventually an entrance to an unknown area opens up. They all go through the entrance, and Pit welcomes everyone to the Light Realm. The Light Realm is a beautiful place with clear skies, pearly white palaces, and buildings everywhere, as well as multiple forms of transportation such as advanced flying cars, flying horses and carriages, space cruisers, and other various things. The Super Smash Bros. Admire the scenery, and they find themselves on a massive bridge radiating with glowing light. Pit leads them through the Light Realm, and they pass different representatives of light. As they pass through the Light Realm, they see multiple light representatives, such as Naga, representative of the universe of Fodlan, which is Fire Emblem, Arceus, the representative of the Pokemon universe, and various others. Ike, Marth, Robin, and Lucina are stunned to see Naga there. Pit explains that the gods of the Light Realm choose a worthy being of light from each known universe to help maintain order within the Light Realm in the multiverse. After this, the group temporarily separates to kind of explore a little bit, and out of the corner of his eye, Luigi sees Rosalina in the distance. Luigi tells Mario, Peach, and Daisy this, and they motion for Rosalina to meet them once they get her attention. Rosalina is happy to see them and hugs everyone from the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario asks what she's doing here, and Rosalina, excited, tells them she's been chosen to be the representative of the Mushroom Kingdom after what happened with Tatanga and the Grand Stars. Everyone from the Mushroom Kingdom is happy for her, and Mario asks who the Mushroom Kingdom representative was before her. Rosalina seems a bit confused, and admits she actually doesn't know, and it seemed like when she joined she filled an empty spot. They all reminisce about this, with Luigi thinking especially hard on this, and Rosalina comes with them as they meet up with the group again. Link asks who they're meeting up with, and Pit says the representative of his universe, Palutena. The Super Smash Bros. Rosalina and Pit make it to the Golden Lapis Palace, and they meet Palutena, a benevolent and kind-hearted goddess, as well as Pit's lord and mentor. She warmly greets Pit, and Pit updates her on the situation with Zelda and the missing Triforce, and asks if the representatives can create a portal to the Dark Realm to free Zelda from the clutches of the Master Core. Palutena asks how big of a threat the Master Core is with the Triforce, and Pit says he plans to use it to invade the Light Realm if he gets all three pieces. Palutena grows tense and tells him he knows she'll always support him in his endeavors, but the gods of light cannot interfere with the Balanced Realm and Dark Realm, or they risk disrupting the balance of the light and darkness across the multiverse. Pit says that's fine, they can do it. They just need to know if the representatives would be willing to get them to where they need to go once they know exactly where Zelda and Master Core are, because he's certain that if the Master Core invades the Light Realm with the Triforce, he'll be bent on setting him free. Palutena appears frightened by this, and the Super Smash Bros. Are confused by this, with Mario asking who he is. Pit tells them that the Light Realm's representatives aren't only in charge of maintaining order across the multiverse, they also help guard the Light Realm's prisoner. Hearing this, Mario clarifies, prisoner? And Pit confirms it. Link steps up, asking what exactly they're dealing with. Pit, tense, tells them he'll show them. Fox and Falco's cruisers speed across the waters of Chushin. They each have half of the crew in their cruisers in the direction the blur flew off to. Fox asks who has the particle right now, and Red says he has it. As the cruisers get close to the mountain, they see a tiny glimpse of the blur now seated on top of the mountain's summit. Meta Knight looks out the window and sees two unknown figures climbing up that same mountain, and it's revealed to be the Ice Climbers, two people wearing winter hoods, blue and pink. They use various tools to scale the mountain, unaware of what's at the top. Meta Knight finds this odd, and Fox and Falco land their cruisers at the top of the summit. Red and Pikachu emerge from the cruisers, and they both recognize Mewtwo, levitating inches off the tip of the summit from the mountain. Red is stunned, and Pikachu is happy to see Mewtwo. Pikachu calls out to Mewtwo, and Mewtwo opens its eyes. Red holds one of his Pokeballs in anticipation, and his Pokédex picks Mewtwo's data up. Everyone else there watches in confusion, waiting for Pikachu to introduce Mewtwo as Pikachu asks what it's doing here. Mewtwo communicates with his mind and projects its thoughts to everyone's minds. It says it could feel a powerful presence in an alternate universe from its home on Mount Peña in the Johto region. Pikachu tells it there was a powerful subspace blast that occurred on the Golden Gate Bridge when Mario defeated Taboo with the subspace particles, and Mewtwo ponders the concept of subspace and the particles. Everyone else approaches, and Captain Falcon asks how Mewtwo could pick up the blast from a separate universe. Mewtwo tells them it dabbles in several different forms of magic, and after an incident in the Pokemon world in which its body and mind were merged with a greedy overlord businessman, it reinforced its mind to expand its cosmic knowledge and awareness past the limits of its home universe, and trained itself to pick up different magical signals with light magic, with the most powerful signal being what they called subspace. What Mewtwo is referring to is the events from Detective Pikachu. Pikachu says they're going through something right now and was hoping Mewtwo could help them. Mewtwo asks what they're going through, and Pikachu says something, if Mewtwo were there, it would be a real game changer. Mewtwo says very well, and that it trusts Pikachu, but it will see if the rest of his team here is worthy of its help. Fox asks if it's serious, and Red steps up, giddy with excitement, saying he'll take Mewtwo on. Mewtwo recognizes Red's clothing as a trainer and acknowledges him on that, and tells Red to send in the Pokemon that has the subspace particle. Red is amazed that Mewtwo knows that, and Mewtwo says to make it quick. Red says very well and sends in Lucario. Lucario emerges, revealing that Lucario is the one manipulating the subspace particle with aura magic. Lucas and Ness tell Red and Lucario to be careful. Mewtwo sees the light blue and rainbow-colored particle and finds it fascinating. Lucario and Mewtwo stare at each other in determination, and they battle it out. Mewtwo uses several different forms of magic to hold its own against Lucario, who uses aura magic and the subspace energy to try and combat Mewtwo's abilities. They clash in the air, and Mewtwo appears to gain the upper hand, despite Lucario wielding the subspace particle. Visual spectacles are shown as Lucario uses the subspace particle to summon Max Aura, with both Pokemon firing powerful beams of light at each other. Mewtwo strains, but it still gains the upper hand over Lucario, making him fall from the air back to the summit, tired out and fatigued. Mewtwo looks down upon the Super Smash Bros. Squad in triumph, with Pikachu looking apprehensive. Pit takes the Super Smash Bros. Down to a dungeon area. They approach a massive main area, and Rosalina uses magic to light up the torches in the room, revealing numerous amounts of wall art on the four walls of the room, seemingly telling a story of a particular event in history. Peach, Sonic, and Tails look over at the end of the art on the walls and see the symbol of yin and yang, the universal symbol of balance. Pit begins the story, saying at the beginning of time, when the multiverse was merely a concept, the gods of light created the first source of light to spread everywhere and embodied it into a gleaming ball of light with multicolored wings of light, naming it Galeem, who is the first source of light. Mario recognizes it from his visions and tells Pit this. Pit continues, saying in order to keep the balance of light and darkness across the multiverse, the gods of darkness created the embodiment of darkness to spread darkness in contrary to Galeem's light, naming it Darken, a dark, monstrous creature with an eyeball at its center and swirls of pincers and tentacles around him. For a while, there was peace as Galeem gained favor with the people, and Galeem and Darken maintained day and night everywhere. Beings and objects of light and dark were created from the two deities, with the beings and objects of light able to sense powerful energy sources like subspace within the same realm, an advantage they had over the beings and objects of darkness. However, eventually there came chaos, as Darken was initially created by the gods to possess the exact opposite beliefs and ideals to Galeem, with Darken wishing to disrupt the balance and overwhelm the multiverse with darkness. Eventually, Galeem and Darken went to war with each other, with their battles raging across the multiverse. Galeem and Darken both summoned countless hand troops to their sides in battle with the devastation of their war, ending countless innocent lives, with Galeem and Darkin having no regard to them as they were merely casualties of war to them. Galeem, initially loved by the people, became just as feared and hated as Darkin as he showed his true colors. Their war went on for centuries, as Galeem and Darkin both possessed equal strength, power, and forces, unable to overpower the other, which is a part of the balance. Their power had even transcended the power of the gods, with the gods unable to stop them for a long time, until finally the gods of light and darkness came together to use everything they had to subdue Galeem and Darkin, forcing them to end their war. In order for a catastrophic event like this to never happen again, the gods of light and darkness worked out a deal, with each side eventually creating natural light and darkness to take the place of Galeem and Darkin. The gods of darkness would imprison Galeem in the Dark Realm, and the gods of light would imprison Darkin, subduing them in each of their powers until they would drain away forever from their opposing power sources. The gods of light allowed the beings of light to become representatives of their own respective universes, and to create their own objects of light to remain in the balanced realm and out of the light realm to maintain balance, capable of sensing and harnessing light and subspace energy. Luigi tells Link there goes his idea of keeping the Triforce in the light realm. Pit takes them to the end of the art and shows them the yin and yang symbol. Pit tells them that the yin and yang symbol is the universal sign of balance, but more than that, it's what people around the multiverse describe the story of Galeem and Darkin, and what became of them. Pit points to the black dot in the white half of the symbol, and describes the black dot as Darkin in the light realm. Pit then points to the white dot in the black half of the symbol, describing the white dot as Galeem in the dark realm. Pit says this is now balance, and what the gods worked out millennia ago, in order to maintain the balance of light and darkness throughout the multiverse, as natural light and darkness now maintain day and night in the balanced realm, which is just the multiverse. Once this is done, Pit turns to Mario and tells him that his visions must mean Galeem is now awake, and for some reason is relentlessly trying to appear before Mario. Pit asks Mario if Galeem ever told him anything in his visions, and Mario says no. Link asks what about Darkin, and Pit says that Darkin has been awake in the light realm for 100 years. Link tenses up and asks what caused that. Pit sighs, saying there was a massive blast of darkness from the universe of Hylia that was big enough to wake him. Link appears devastated, remembering that the current Hyrule timeline was restored after the Triforce of Courage was repaired in Twilight Princess, and says that's when Ganondorf attempted to take over Hyrule in Calamity form, with the darkness from that being powerful enough to awaken Darkin. Pit apologizes for this, and Link collects himself, saying he will do everything he needs to do to make this right, and Mario asks where Darkin is. In Chushin, Lucario lies down, fatigued from the battle, and Mewtwo gently lands next to him, using magic to bring the subspace particle to its possession. The crew, including Pikachu, grow apprehensive towards Mewtwo. Red sends in Charizard, who puts himself in between Lucario and Mewtwo, protecting Lucario and growling at Mewtwo. Mewtwo uses magic to slowly return the particle to Lucario, extending a hand to Lucario and helping him stand. Mewtwo tells Lucario he fought with honor and nobility, and he gets that same feeling from everyone here except him, with Mewtwo pointing at Wario, and Wario complaining about that. Mewtwo tells Red and Pikachu it's enough though, and that it's willing to help the team with their cause. Red and Pikachu are overjoyed. Mewtwo approaches the rest of the team and sees Kirby down below, able to figure out that Kirby cannot speak. It closes its eyes and extends its hand and opens its eyes. Kirby can now communicate telepathically the same way Mewtwo can, and Kirby asks what happened. The team is stunned, and Red prepares a Pokeball, still giddy with excitement. Red says he's wanted to catch Mewtwo for a long time. He throws the Pokeball at Mewtwo, and Mewtwo swats it away, with Mewtwo saying sorry, it doesn't work like that. Red is stunned, and Wario does his best to not burst in laughter. Pit shows the Super Smash Bros. The way to Darkin's dungeon, and when they get there they see him. Darkin. The singular eye facing away from them is surrounded by a swirl of dark pincers and tentacles. It turns around suddenly in its light enclosure and stares at them. Darkin doesn't say a word, then eventually focuses on Link. Link is apprehensive and stares back. Pit says now they know about Galeem and Darkin. All they need to do now is get to Master Core and rescue Zelda in the Dark Realm. He asks if anyone here has a way to get to where they need to go exactly once they're in the Dark Realm, and Link looks at the Triforce of Courage on his hand. Link asks Pit who the light representatives of Hylia are, and Pit says the three goddesses, Din, Nehru, and Ferore. The group at the top of the summit starts collecting themselves, and Captain Falcon mentions to Mewtwo that the rest of their team is working on getting to the Dark Realm to save a friend of theirs. Mewtwo understands, and all of a sudden, multiple multicolored portals begin opening up towards the base of the mountain. The fighters notice and become apprehensive. They see numerous dark creatures coming out of the portals, and Meta Knight remembers the mountain climbers, and realizes the dark creatures will plow right through them. Knuckles asks where these monsters came from, and Meta Knight yells for the the climbers and flies off the mountain. Meta Knight's bat wings allow him to maneuver swiftly through the air and find the ice climbers quickly. The ice climbers see the dark creatures rapidly approaching them, and they are terrified. Meta Knight swoops down and picks up the rope supporting both of them. Just before the dark creatures can get the ice climbers, Meta Knight flies away carrying the rope with both ice climbers, with them screaming for their lives. The dark creatures continue scaling the mountain, and Meta Knight returns, gently placing the ice climbers with the team and promising their safety. Captain Falcon asks if they're alright. The team on the mountain enters into battle position, and the dark creatures shriek and roar, charging at them from all directions. The team battles the dark creatures and are able to stop them, with Red using all his Pokemon: Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard, Lucario, and bringing in Sudowoodo and Yveltal, who was that legendary that he caught in his Pokemon movie. Lucas and Ness use their PK attacks, introducing Lucas's PK Freeze, Fire, and Thunder. Wario and Pikachu use lightning attacks. Fox and Falco use their gadgets and physical abilities. Captain Falcon uses his Falcon attacks. Knuckles uses his super strength and powerful physical abilities. Kirby uses his hammer and inhaling ability to throw off the creatures, and Mewtwo flies around the summit, dealing devastating psychic and thunderous damage to the dark creatures who have not yet able to fully scale the mountain, and preventing the reinforcements from overwhelming the team, with Red, Pikachu, and the other Pokemon blown away by Mewtwo. Pit and Link lead the team to where the three goddesses of the universe of Hylia are. Link sees Din, Nehru, and a fully recovered Furore since the events of Twilight Princess. The goddesses are happy to see Link, and he's happy to see they're doing good. The team watches as Link asks for their help. A fiend called the Master Core took to Zelda, and he has the remaining pieces of the Triforce, and they're most likely holed up in the Dark Realm. Link asks if the goddesses can pinpoint the exact location of the two pieces, and they concentrate for a bit, confirming their suspicions of the Triforce being in the Dark Realm. The team is relieved by this, and Link asks if the goddesses can take their team there. Din promptly opens a light portal leading to where they need to go, and Pit and Samus say they need to go through the portal now if they want to have the initial advantage. Din asks Link to wait for a moment, and Link lets everyone through the portal while he speaks with the goddesses. Din says she can tell Link feels troubled with how the timeline worked out with Darken Awakening because of what happened 100 years ago, but she wants him to know that he shouldn't blame himself, and that the goddesses believe in Link and Zelda that they can prevent this threat from escalating. This makes Link feel better, and he says his goodbyes, being the last one to go through the light portal. The Super Smash Bros. Have made it through to the Dark Realm, and are placed at a high ground above the massive rocky facility. The Master Core, still in Mario form, looks up, having sensed something. He looks away towards the entrance of the base and tells the dark creatures with him that they've come for her. He prepares magic and looks back further within the base to see dark creatures bringing in more black particles found all across the Dark Realm, implying that the Master Core is about to make more creatures, and Zelda is nowhere to be seen. Sonic approaches the front of the group, and Mario asks if Sonic can find Zelda. Sonic says he'll do a sweep, and Luigi says to be careful. Sonic says not to worry, and he speeds into the base, checking all around the base to see if he can find Zelda in any kind of dungeon area. He gets to the Master Core, and even though everything is immensely slowed down to him, he can see that the dark creatures in Master Core are planning something. Sonic looks determined and speeds towards Master Core, but all of a sudden, a magical blast hits Sonic, sending him flying. Time returns to normal, and Master Core looks over at Sonic, grinning ear to ear. Sonic is stunned and speed blitzes him again. He hits the Master Core this time, but Master Core prepares several magic attacks and places different spells around the room. Sonic tries running towards him but gets caught up in the magical traps. Master Core then distorts gravity within the base only for him and Sonic, and it throws off Sonic's running patterns. He tries to prepare a homing hedgehog ball attack, but right as he strikes, Master Core returns the gravity to normal, making Sonic charge into the ground. Rosalina says something isn't right. Sonic recovers and realizes he can't beat Master Core like this, and he speeds away to the group, and he's out of breath. Tails asks if he's okay, and Sonic says he already knows they're here. Pit says that's impossible. Pit knew that Master Core would find out quickly because of the light/subspace sensitive hand troops, but this was too sudden and too quick. Mario says it doesn't matter now. They need to give everything they have to get through these guys. The fate of the multiverse may depend on it. Mario looks at Link with the final piece of the Triforce and tells Link to be careful because that piece is what Master Core needs. Link nods in understanding. With that, the Super Smash Bros. Team charges towards the base as Master Core begins sending a massive horde of dark creatures to them. Pit, Rosalina, Diddy Kong, and Tails take to the skies as Pit begins firing multiple energy arrows at the creatures from the top. Rosalina uses cosmic energy to send magical blast down at the creatures. Diddy Kong flies with his jetpack and fires explosive peanuts at the creatures, and Tails summons gadgets and machinery to send down several explosions to the dark creatures. The fighters in the air also deal with the hand troops speeding towards them. Sonic on the ground zooms through the dark creatures, zigzagging through them and taking out a large number of them at once. Once the Super Smash Bros. Clash with the dark creatures, everyone puts on an impressive display. Mario and Luigi use their fire attacks to blast several of them away. Link uses the Triforce of Courage and Energy Slices to deal with them. Samus uses the Phazon power within her power suit as well as her high-powered gadgets. Yoshi, Birdo, and Waluigi hold their own with their own abilities, and Bowser and Donkey Kong use their immense strength to plow right through the dark creatures. The Fire Emblem Warriors are all highly skilled with their weapons, with Marth, Ike, and Lucina using their swords and Robin using his magical skills to hold his own as well. They keep fighting, and Mario says this won't end unless they find Zelda. He clarifies with Sonic he wasn't able to find Zelda, and Sonic says he swept the whole base, but found no trace of her. Luigi asks Link if the goddesses are sure the Triforce was here, and Link says yes, that's what they said. Master Core is revealed in the base after having sent a massive legion of dark creatures at the Super Smash Bros. And he looks at his hand once again with the Triforce pieces of power and wisdom now on his hand. On the summit in Chushin, the fighters there are able to stop all the dark creatures that ambush them, and the fighters collect themselves. Fox wonders how the rest of the team is doing, and he speaks on his Smash Ball wristband, seeing if he can reach anyone. Bowser hears it on his wristband, and he frantically tells them they're getting swarmed by dark creatures in the Dark Realm. Falco asks if there's anyone there that can get them to where they are, and Mario thinks of Rosalina, now a light representative. Mario leaps off the dark creatures' heads and tries to get Rosalina's attention. Once she sees Mario flailing his arms, Mario gives Rosalina his Smash Ball wristband, and she communicates with the team on Chushin Summit, asking exactly where they are. Pit flies over the dark creatures on the ground, slashing them with his double-edged blade, and he approaches the Super Smash Bros. On the ground, saying they need to disperse now and get the dark creatures to split up. Mario and Luigi try to create openings with their fire attacks, but there's too many dark creatures that quickly fill up the gaps. Fox gives Rosalina the team's coordinates, and she prepares a light portal while the Super Smash Bros. Around her buy her time. At the summit, Mewtwo asks Red if he would give Mewtwo the subspace particle. In the Dark Realm, the Super Smash Bros. Are starting to get overwhelmed by the intensity and ferocity the dark creatures swarming them. Donkey Kong gets bitten by one of them and he roars in pain, punching it away and continuing to fight. Rosalina creates the light portal and the team from Chushin floods in. Red's Pokemon promptly join the battle and clear some of the dark creatures away from the team, giving them a few seconds to recover and retaliate. Master Core feels the cosmic energy flowing with him as he realizes one of the subspace particles is here in the Dark Realm. The team from Chushin help the Super Smash Bros. Fight and try to get the dark creatures to disperse as well. Mewtwo emerges from the portal wielding the subspace particle with magic and flies in the air. Mario, Luigi, and Waluigi look up at Mewtwo, asking who that is. Mewtwo levitates over the group and grasps the subspace particle by hand, making Mewtwo overflow with energy. Mewtwo prepares a devastating blast of magic, and it sends an absolutely devastating beam of energy towards the base and the massive amount of dark creatures emerging from it. The energy beam clears all the dark creatures in the area, and it gives the Super Smash Bros. The window they needed to disperse and clear out the remaining dark creatures in the area. The Super Smash Bros. All go in different directions, able to handle the dark creatures that chase them. Mewtwo teams up with Rosalina, and they fly quickly through the air, dealing with the remaining hand troops flying in the area. The Mario Bros. Run towards the base, and Pikachu meets up with them. Mario asks Pikachu who that was, and Pikachu says that was the blur and who Pikachu was referring to back at the base. The Mario Bros. Are impressed, and Luigi tells Pikachu good work before Pikachu departs from them. Samus fires multiple blasts of Phazon at the dark creatures and sees Mario and Luigi heading right for what looks to be a cosmic version of Mario, remembering that's how Link described the Master Core. She warns Luigi on her Smash Ball wristband, and the Mewtwo in the sky finally sees the Master Core. It releases a powerful blast of magic at Master Core, and Master Core tries to combat with his own magic and the power of his two Triforce pieces. He strains and is eventually overpowered, getting set flying. He looks up to see Luigi roundhouse kick him, and Mario spike him into the ground with a punch. Mario then picks him up by the ankles and front flips while carrying him, sending him into Luigi's backflip right to Master Core's face. The same thing they did with Midbus in Super Mario Bros. The Dark Star. Master Core gets up and glares at the Mario Bros, and Mario scoffs, saying that this is his admirer that he's heard so much about. Master Core says hardly. He only appears in this form as a sign of somewhat respect for him defeating Taboo. As they confront the Master Core, the Mario Bros notice the remaining two Triforce pieces on the Master Core's hand. Mario says he's heard about that, and Master Core says that seeing him here now, he feels embarrassed for Taboo for allowing himself to be overtaken by ordinary men with the emotional range of a golf ball Ball. Master Core changes his form to resemble the Mario Bros' father, who was killed by Titania. Mario and Luigi grow rageful. Master Core says their drive is pitiful, and they only fight to protect what's important to them. Mario and Luigi charge at Master Core in their father's form, and Master Core is able to fend them off with his magic and reality-distorting abilities. Mario throws a fireball, and Master Core slices through it, making the fireball explode behind him. Luigi comes in with a leaping kick, but Master Core catches Luigi in the air and tosses him away. Master Core returns to his Mario form, and he and Mario clash it out with Master Core overwhelming Mario with his abilities. The Super Smash Bros. Successfully defeat the dark creatures that previously swarmed them, and they fix their attention to the fight between Mario and the Master Core. Master Core pins Mario down and is straining. Mario asks what Master Core is, something who devotes their very existence, obsessing over someone who threatens the existence of the multiverse. Master Core distorts the ground beneath him and pulls out a passed out Zelda from it. Link and Samus see this and rush to their position. Master Core tells Mario the most powerful thing about him is not the magical power he possesses. It's his determination and devotion to what he believes in, the power of any believer. Mario says people usually don't believe in a monster bent on the multiverse's destruction. Master Core smiles and tells Mario he misunderstands. Darkin does not wish to destroy the multiverse. He wishes to restart it and make it a flourishing society devoted to him like the Master Core. Master Core stands up and says either way, the point he's trying to make is that it's because of his devotion that the Super Smash Bros. Will lose, and no one on that team has the drive, but the Master Core gets cut off as Link hits the Master Core with an exploding energy slice from his Master Sword and sends Master Core flying into the wall. The rest of the Super Smash Bros. Rush in and all start beating Master Core senseless and start literally jumping him. Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, and Daisy come to Mario's side and help him recover as he watches the Super Smash Bros. Kick and stomp Master Core as Rosalina and Mewtwo suppress his magical abilities. Sonic comes in as a rolling ball and speed blitzes into Master Core, crashing him into the wall. Zelda collapses from the air and Link comes back for her as Master Core feels flustered about what is happening to him. Zelda wakes up and tiredly greets Link as he gestures her awake. Link is overjoyed to see Zelda and profusely apologizes to her for letting this happen to her. Zelda assures Link that this had to happen to prevent the full Triforce from entering the Master Core's hands. The Super Smash Bros. Jumping Master Core back away as Rosalina, Robin, and Mewtwo force Master Core to extend his hand. Link and Zelda approach the Master Core and Zelda extends her hand over Master Core's and uses magic to try and pry the two pieces of the Triforce from Master Core, in which he screams in pain. The Master Core tries to change form to prevent this, but Peach uses her heart power to force Master Core to stay in his current vulnerable spot. Eventually, with the help of Mewtwo, Peach, Rosalina, and Robin, Zelda is able to pry the Triforce pieces from Master Core, returning the pieces to her hand. Master Core again tries desperately to retain control, but now he cannot overpower the numerous Super Smash Bros. Now containing him. Samus tells the team to bring Master Core back to the base, and as they drag Master Core back to the light portal, Mario, glaring at him, tells him that this is the drive of the Super Smash Bros. Master Core glares at him and is promptly thrown in the advanced dungeon cell deep within the Super Smash Bros. Base on Chushin. So now, Master Core is being held prisoner. At their base on Chushin, the Super Smash Bros. Thank Rosalina and Pit for their help, and Pit says the threat is most likely not over, considering the mannerisms of Master Core they now know. They have to return to the Light Realm, but we'll see if they can help if anything else happens. Rosalina returns Mario's Smash Ball wristband, and Rosalina and Pit return to the Light Realm. The Ice Climbers are at the base for the first time and they admire how impressive the facility is. Mewtwo formally introduces itself to the team, and everyone is thrown off hearing Mewtwo's telepathic voice inside their heads. Mewtwo says Kirby can do that too now, and Kirby does it too, surprising everyone. Mewtwo explains how it used light magic to pick up the signal from Mario's subspace blast to finish off Taboo from its home in the Pokemon world. Mewtwo then explains how it got here using the subspace energy within the Pokemon world portal, and how the group that met it was attacked by dark creatures summoned from a multicolored portal. Link freezes, remembering that's the kind of portal that the Master Core used, and he tells everyone this. Samus says she figured the dark creatures came from the Master Core, but how did he know Mewtwo came here to Chushin and where exactly to find Mewtwo? Luigi has been thinking a lot, and he remembers when the subspace particle crashed into the Mushroom Kingdom and the Mario Bros having to deal with the Dark Star, as well as Rosalina mentioning that she filled an empty space for the Mushroom Kingdom Universe Light representative, and remembering Pit's words about beings and objects of light being able to sense light and subspace energy. Luigi comes across a realization and tells Mario he needs to tell him something. After the Super Smash Bros. Are done with their meeting, Link and Zelda sit down in a lounging area with the missing two Triforce pieces returned returned to Zelda's hand. Link explains to Zelda what they learned about Gleam and Darken, the original sources of light and darkness, and Link tells Zelda he learned that as a result of Ganondorf entering Calamity 100 years ago, it allowed Darken to awaken from the massive darkness surge. Zelda consoles him, and Link says even though the goddesses told Link he shouldn't feel responsible for what happened, he asks how can't he? It seems like to him that every time Link tries to step up and make things better, he always ends up making it worse, and now he doesn't know what to do. Zelda says the goddesses are right, and Link needs to remember that even if he feels like he's making things worse, he needs to always choose to fight for what he believes in. Zelda says it's on everyone now to stop this threat, and that none of the Super Smash Bros. Blame him for what happened. Link feels better from this, but asks Zelda if Master Core was right about his resolve being higher than anyone's here. The Master Core is so bent on setting Darken free, and what if that overpowers the team's obligation to protect the multiverse? Zelda holds his hand and says that no one has more of a drive than Link, not even that psychopath Master Core. Link's devotion to protect others is what Zelda loves about Link, and besides, that devotion is what freed Zelda from the Master Core. Link does have something else on his mind, remembering the Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges, wondering about where they were when they rescued Zelda. Master Core, still in his Mario form, turns around in his cell to see the Mario Bros. Peach and Bowser approaching. Master Core smirks and asks, just them four? Bowser says, yeah. Just them. In this tense environment, Mario says Luigi here figured everything out about Master Core, and Luigi says Master Core has been dropping hints like crazy. Master Core, unfazed, asks them what they figured out about them. Peach steps up, saying that Master Core presented himself as a being of darkness, devoted to Darken, but in reality, that's not the case. Peach confronts Master Core and says that Master Core is actually a being of light, who for some reason devotes his life to the darkness. Mario continues, saying that not only is the Master Core a being of light, he was the light representative of the Mushroom Kingdom before Rosalina, something the gods of light never told her. Not only that, the Master Core is the one who created the Dark Star, which isn't actually an object of darkness at all. The Dark Star was actually an object of light. Bowser continues, saying which was why it was able to sense the subspace particle's presence once it entered the Mushroom Kingdom. Luigi finishes by saying that was also why Master Core was able to sense Mewtwo using subspace energy to enter Chushin all the way from the Dark Realm, a realm bridged between other realms and where exactly to find Mewtwo. The Master Core is impressed and asks if they're done. They are, and Master Core says that was spot on, except for one tiny detail. Master Core never presented himself as a being of darkness. If you think about it, he never technically did. Who says the darkness must only align with the darkness? Isn't the point of balance that the dark coexists with the light? That's what the gods preach, at least. The Master Core says that the gods of the light realm only care about balance and peace across the multiverse. They don't care about change or improvement. As long as the generalized universe with only a few people left behind is doing good, the light realm sees no problem with it. It's true that the Master Core was the Mushroom Kingdom representative before Darken's capture, but he was banished only for asking for change within the multiverse, for everyone to live equally and without favor, serving one greater purpose than themselves. He says that only chosen representatives of light have the power to summon light portals across the realms, so when he was banished, that power was stripped from him, which is why he can no longer take a portal to the light realm. However, he was able to maintain his ability to summon portals to different universes within the balanced realm by his own magic. Before he was sentenced to banishment, though, he planned his revenge by creating the Dark Star and planting it in his universe, the Mushroom Kingdom, and planning to use it to eventually wipe everyone out and restart the universe with everyone on equal footing with one set mindset. A flashback is shown to when Bowser encountered Dark Bowser back in the second Mario Bros. Movie, and Dark Bowser tells Bowser it's finally figured out its true purpose. After the Master Core was banished, he found Darken and realized what that mindset should be for the people, to serve Darken. He says that Darken saved Master Core in his despair and exile and accepted him even though he was a being of light, and gave Master Core the ability to create his own portals within the Dark Realm as well as the Balanced Realm. Master Core reveals that when the gods came together to stop Gleam and Darken's war, he had thought Gleam and Darken both died, until he found out they were alive in each other's realms because of Ganondorf's usage of the complete Triforce. He admits that before he found out about the Triforce, he searched for the Dark Star only to discover it had been destroyed. You guys remember what he said to them at the beginning? He found out that something he created long ago in one of these universes that could have been useful in this situation has been destroyed since their last battle. Mario jumps in saying, yeah, it was like really easy to get rid of, and Luigi rolls his eyes. Master Core continues saying that when he discovered the full capabilities of the Triforce, he knew he had to use it to set Darken free, and now that the Super Smash Bros. Took the Master Core away from the Dark Realm where his weakness is, there is nothing stopping the Master Core from prying every last piece of the Triforce from those Hylians. Mario scoffs, saying that's his big plan? Still, Mario says he has news for Master Core. The Triforce isn't like other objects of light. The user, according to Link and Zelda, must have the balanced virtues of power, wisdom, and courage in order to wield the whole thing. So there's no way that the Master Core would be able to pull that off. Master Core's smile grows and has his face right next to the glass of his cell, asking Mario what makes him think that. Mario's grin fades and he freezes, unable to give an answer to him. Pit and Rosalina portal back to the Light Realm, where they notice numerous beings of light and Light Realm citizens rushing towards the massive main hall, the size of numerous coliseums. Rosalina asks one of the citizens rushing there what happened, and the citizen says a light representative has been killed. Concerned, Pit and Rosalina rush to the main hall as well. Once the two of them make it there, a massive crowd has assembled. Once the meeting starts, the gods watch over them and the light representatives start a discussion. The leader of the discussions, Naga, the goddess of light from Fodlan, tells everyone that the light representative of Bionis and Mechanus, sorry if I mispronounce it, Zanza, has been killed. The people are troubled to hear this, but Naga continues, saying, however, Zanza was not who he said he was. Zanza's duty was to protect his universe from ruin, but instead he sought to destroy it and reform it. As people talk amongst themselves, troubled to hear this news, a giant holographic image of someone is shown wielding a powerful energy blade. Pit and Rosalina look up at it in curiosity, and Naga says that this is Shulk, a brave young man from Colony 9 on Bionis, and the one who put an end to Zanza's oppression. Pit is interested and keeps listening to Shulk's description. Naga keeps speaking, saying Shulk is the new god of Bionis and the wielder of the mighty Monado, a powerful weapon capable of enhancing individual abilities as well as allowing the user to briefly see the immediate future. The crowd of light beings is impressed, and Pit and Rosalina look at each other, thinking the same thing. As they quickly begin leaving the main hall, Naga finishes by telling the crowd that at this time, the universe of Bionis and Mechanus does not have a light representative due to Zanza's death, but Shulk is most certainly a worthy contender that can help keep Darkin, the Lord of Darkness, sealed away in the Light Realm chambers. Rosalina and Pit open the Light Realm and return to the Super Smash Bros. Base. The Mario Bros, Red, Kirby, Pikachu, Mewtwo, and Samus greet them and ask what's up. Pit says they just found out something that could be really helpful to them. After Pit and Rosalina tell the Smash Bros about Shulk and his future sight ability, Mario says that with everything happening and with no one knowing what's going to happen, this Shulk character could be really useful. Luigi asks where he is, and Pit says they'll need a separate subspace portal to Bionis. Before they go to Bionis, the Mario Bros walk over to Link and Zelda and tell them they're headed to a place called Bionis to hopefully recruit a new member. Link asks what this new recruit can do, and Mario says he can supposedly see into the future. Zelda says something like that could be extremely beneficial to them at the moment. Link asks how their talk with the Master Core went, and Mario says he still gets a weird vibe from him even now, especially since he looks like Mario. He reveals that the Master Core is actually a being of light, and he asks should the darkness only align with the darkness? Isn't the point of balance that the dark coexists with the light? Link is stunned to hear this, and Mario suggests they should send Link and Zelda to different universe with the Triforce until this threat is over. Link agrees, but Luigi jumps in, saying it wouldn't matter where Link and Zelda go. The Master Core's dark army is massive, and they could all portal to different universes, let alone the fact that Link and Zelda would be on the run possibly their whole lives. At least here, the team is here as well as the particles, and the team can protect them. Mario asks about the wishing powers of the Triforce that Link explained, and since Link and Zelda are both fully compatible with the Triforce, if they could just make a wish with the Triforce to make this threat disappear. Zelda says they talked about it, but the Triforce was only meant to be used for domestic issues within Hyrule. If the wishing powers of the Triforce were used on a multiversal scale, it would be too much for the user making the wish with it and kill the user in the process. Link feels guilty. He apologizes for how much the Triforce has become a problem. Mario tells them that no matter what happened before, this fight has become all of theirs, and the team will not let Link and Zelda go through this alone. Luigi says the team is here, but the Mario Bros have to go to Bionis now. Zelda wishes them good luck. Mewtwo takes a subspace particle out of the vault, walking past the Master Core's cell. Master Core watches Mewtwo leave, and with his enhanced eyesight, he can see Mewtwo meet up with Pit, Rosalina, Mario, Luigi, Kirby, Red, Pikachu, and Samus, readying a subspace portal. Because the portals they have at the base, none of them go to Bionis, because none of them have ever heard of this Shulk fellow. Master Core looks over to a different section of the base and sees Link and Zelda still sitting in the lounge area talking, and Master Core smiling at the two of them. The subspace portal reaches an unknown planet, and the team on this this mission steps out, seeing a massive village in front of them, seemingly sitting on top of a fallen and eroded Titan. The team walks through the village, asking the people there about Shulk. They ask enough people and they eventually reach his house. Mario knocks on the door and eventually Shulk emerges, asking who they are. Pit steps up, saying they heard about what he did. Shulk annoyingly asks if these are more of those beings of light who came to him a bit ago. Rosalina says that was fast, and Mario says they need to speak with him about something else. Shulk is confused but lets them enter his house. They sit down at a table, and Samus tells Shulk that their team, the Super Smash Bros., came together as fighters from different universes to take on anyone who threatens the multiverse. She says that first was taboo as well as a being called the Master Hand, but now there are threats that are too unpredictable for them to handle, and the only way they can prepare against them is the help of Shulk's future sight ability. Shulk looks down and says Gleam and Darken, right? The team confirms it and says that's what the light representatives were telling him when they came by. Pit says they considered Shulk a worthy contender to become a light representative himself, so why is he still here? Pit acknowledges that Shulk is considered to be the new god of this universe. Shulk tells Pit he's not a god and he doesn't want to be, and when he found out who Zanza really was, a man who became a god by restarting an entire universe, he lost his faith in that idea. So when he got this thing, gesturing to the Monado, Shulk wished for the people to live in a universe to live without gods. The team keeps listening and Shulk says, yeah, Zanza was the light representative, and the Monado was his light object, and now it's his, free to use it to protect his universe, which is his only concern. Pit says they're not here to ask Shulk to become a light representative. Mewtwo holds out the subspace particle, showing it to Shulk, and Pit says this team guards these objects called the subspace particles, and together they use them to stop threats that seem impossible to beat. Pit says he's not asking Shulk to consider himself a god either. None of the Super Smash Bros. Are. All the team needs is someone with the foresight and abilities he has to protect everyone in the multiverse, including Shulk's universe. Shulk sighs and asks how big of threats Gleam and Darken are, and the team is tense and apprehensive, telling Shulk all he needs to know about it. Shulk nods and prepares the Monado. Master Core in his cell closes his eyes and concentrates intensely, trying to overpower the power condensers in his cell with his magic. He lets the light from his cell flow through his body and core, and thinks about the 3 Triforce pieces in the base with Link and Zelda, with his powers slowly starting to come back. Eventually, the lights start flickering all over the base, and the Super Smash Bros. Scattered throughout the base notice, wondering what's happening. Link and Zelda see that the Triforce on their hands start flickering and glowing more, worried about what's happening. Taking advantage of the power outing throughout the base, including his cell, Master Core eventually overpowers the power condensers and is able to send a message to the Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges in different locations throughout the Dark Realm. He sends the message saying they're here in Chushin, set him free, and he'll take care of the rest. The lights continue flickering, and Link and Zelda sprint through the base to get to Master Core as soon as they can. Master Core strains more, summoning more of his magic to open 3 massive multicolored portals in the sky above the base. All of a sudden, numerous dark creatures and the 3 masters, Master Beast, Master Giant, and Master Edges, emerge from the portals, with the massive Master Beast and Master Giant crashing through the base, throwing everyone off. Master Edges emerges, and the Fire Emblem warriors approach her. She summons numerous blades, and Ike asks who it is. Master Edges takes on a human-like form with the black particles around her and summons 2 blades from her arms, saying the ones who've come to ignite the end of it all. Ike, Marth, Lucina, and Robin team up against Master Edges, as the other 2 masters barge through the base to get to the Master Core. As Link and Zelda continue running through the base, Captain Falcon meets up with them, asking what they're doing. Zelda says they need to make sure Master Core isn't out of his cell, and Captain Falcon says if these guys are here to free the Master Core, Zelda and Link need to be as far away from him as possible, because they're here for the Triforce. Link says they can't leave them here, and Captain Falcon says go to Hyrule and let them handle this. Link and Zelda don't feel comfortable about this, but Captain Falcon assures them to go. Link and Zelda start running in the direction of the portals in the base when Master Giant crashes through the room and sees them. They run around Master Giant, but Master Giant swats its massive hand at them. Link gets his shield out, defending him and Zelda, but Master Giant's hand sends Link and Zelda flying in the opposite direction of the portals. Master Giant charges at them and sends a fist at them when Knuckles arrives and catches the fist. Link and Zelda struggle to recover and get up when Donkey Kong approaches them, helping them up. Donkey Kong tells them to take the long way and he and Knuckles will hold this guy off. Link and Zelda thank Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong pounds his chest several times, roaring. Master Giant breaks from Knuckles' counter and Donkey Kong and Knuckles team up on Master Giant, working together to hold it off the best they can. Finally, the Master Beast charges through the base, plowing through any obstacles in its way, and is getting close to the Master Core's position. Captain Falcon comes in, and Falcon punches it, halting its movement and collapsing. Captain Falcon Falcon speaks into his wristband, asking everyone if they got the other particles. In Bionis, after they get Schultz to join the team, Mario's crew gets the message as well, and Mario asks what's going on at the base. Marth, helping fight Master Edges, frantically tells them they got ambushed. Everyone else is seen fighting the dark creatures in the base, and the ice climbers are terrified, watching Olimar and his Pikmin fight the dark creatures in front of them. A dark creature gets past Olimar and dashes towards them, snarling, and the ice climbers, in a nervous reaction, release a flurry of unique snow and ice at them, instantly freezing the dark creature. They're stunned and they continue watching the fight. Samus motions for Mewtwo to create a portal, and Mario tells Schultz only he knows what will happen once they return to the base. Schultz nods and the team and Bionis returns to the base, seeing the chaos unfold. They all look at Schultz and Schultz concentrates on his Monado. He briefly sees a glimpse of a Mario-looking figure releasing a surge of golden light. He opens his eyes and tells the team it's not enough. They're going to lose. Zelda is limping and Link is supporting her weight the best he can while he sprints through the base and plowing through the dark creatures. Master Beast gets up and hits Captain Falcon with its tail, sending him flying. It roars and continues charging through as Captain Falcon struggles to get up. Master Core continues sitting in his cell in expectance, closing his eyes and smiling. Bowser gets to Master Beast, hitting it with a powerful fire breath. He steps in front of the raging Master Beast and holds onto its burrowing face, attempting to stop it as the Master Beast tries to fling Bowser out of the way. Bowser uses his strength to slow down Master Beast, pick it up, and RKO it onto its back. Bowser roars, and Yoshi and Birdo come in, helping Bowser. Lucas, Ness, Red, and his Lucario go to the vault where the remaining 3 subspace particles are, and Lucas, Ness, and Lucario grasp each of them, gaining an immense power boost. Mewtwo and Rosalina join in the fight as everyone else from Mario's crew plows through the dark creatures in order to get to Master Core. Donkey Kong and Knuckles try to counter Master Giant's attacks with their own, but they are eventually overpowered. Master Giant races through the base to meet up with Master Beast. Master Beast gets up and is bombarded by Yoshi's egg attacks. Meta Knight swoops in and flies around Master Beast at great speed, hitting Master Beast with a barrage of slices. Master Beast roars in pain and Master Giant makes it to its location, sending everyone flying and helping Master Beast up. The two of them charge, outrunning everyone there except Yoshi. Yoshi strains trying to keep up with their speed when Sonic is shown speed blitzing several dark creatures of his own. He sees Master Giant and Master Beast dashing away, and Sonic speeds away towards them, zooming past Yoshi and running several laps around the two masters trying to throw them off. Sonic builds up enough energy within the interior of his laps and he leaps between them, hitting them with a massive energy surge. Mario, Luigi, Kirby, Pikachu, Schultz, and Samus make it to Master Core's cell, and they see him still sitting there. They're apprehensive as they approach, and Master Core sees Schultz in the Monado. Master Core says, "Ah, that's one of the objects I discovered in my quest to find the perfect item to reclaim Darken's glory." Master Core tells them their friends won't be able to stop his forces because all they have to do is set him free. And even though they now have the power to see the future, that doesn't make their defeat any less inevitable, and that doesn't mean they can change their future. When Master Core says this, a brief shot of Darken is shown in the Light Realm. On the ground, Master Beast and Master Giant roar, summoning more dark creatures to their location. Eventually, a massive swarm of dark creatures swamp the area, and the Super Smash Bros. In that area are forced to deal with them as the two giants get up and continue rushing through the base to get to Master Core. Master Edges continues fighting the Fire Emblem Warriors, and eventually finds a window to speed blitz all 4 of them, sending them flying. It rushes to where the other masters are after seeing the commotion down the base. As Master Giant and Master Beast continue rushing, Lucario, Lucas, and Ness emerge, each wielding one of the subspace particles. Lucas and Ness summon PK Starstorm, sending a massive wave of meteors of pure light to crash through the top of the base and the gaps in the ceiling at the dark creatures fighting the Super Smash Bros. Lucario uses Max Aura, targeting the two masters when the Master Edges speeds in, deflecting the blast with her blades. Lucario and Red are stunned, and Master Edges orders the other two masters to keep moving. Red summons the rest of his Pokemon, Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, Yveltal, and Sudowoodo to chase after the masters while Lucario tries to break through Master Edges. With Red's Pokemon chasing after the masters, Yveltal fires a beam of dark light at the two of them in which they dodge. Master Beast hangs back and deals with Red's Pokemon while Master Giant keeps charging through. It sees the wall ahead of it and rams right through it, with tons of debris flooding into the room containing Master Core's cell, and sending Mario's group flying. Lucas and Ness's PK Starstorm help the Super Smash Bros. Counter against the dark creatures and get through them. Mario and Luigi try throwing fireballs at Master Giant, but it's able to deflect them. Master Giant approaches the glass concealing Master Core in his cell, prepares a devastating punch, and punches right through the glass, setting Master Core free. Link and Zelda continue trying to get away, but they too eventually get swarmed by dark creatures. They fight them off the best they can, but it gets to be too much for them, even with other fighters jumping in and helping them, and the dark creatures seize the both of them. Master Core emerges from his cell, feeling his full power flow through him, and Mario's team charges at him. Master Core summons magic and changes the gravity in the room, sending the team flying into the wall. Master Core distorts the dimensions of the room, making the team unable to reach them as Master Core calmly walks out of the room. Shulk, however, is able to get past it, and he charges at Master Core with the Monado. However, Master Giant punches him into the wall and crashes through it before being seized by Master Giant as well as the rest of Mario's group. Lucario eventually overpowers Master Edges, and she stumbles back and is stabbed by Ike. Master Edges shrieks in pain in a disturbing way as fire emerges from Ike's sword, engulfing her in flames, and she dissolves into black particles once more, with the particles disappearing. Link and Zelda are forced by the dark creatures to stay still as they continue to fight back with their pieces of the Triforce. Master Core eventually meets up with them as the Master Giant has Mario's group secured. Mario tries to fight his way out as Master Core stands before Link and Zelda, who have been brought to their knees by the creatures. Master Core looks up at Mario and says this is his drive. Master Core extends his hand over Link and Zelda and begins using magic to try and pry the Triforce off of Link and Zelda's hands. Master Core says he doesn't know if Mario told them this, and being in the light strengthens him. He kickstarts his magic and Link and Zelda start screaming in pain. Master Core strains but maintains intense focus. He remembers his past of getting kicked out of the light realm, with the true reasoning being the gods of light unwilling to let Master Core use his power to massacre and restart his universe. He remembers how he was lost and found by Darkin, giving him the purpose, drive, and courage that Master Core needed. As Master Core grew through experiences and grew in wisdom from Darkin's teachings, he eventually saw Darkin and Galeem being stopped by the gods. So now we're kind of getting his perspective. Master Core screams as well and is able to pry all three pieces of the Triforce from Link and Zelda, and all three pieces promptly attached to the Master Core's hand, with all three pieces fully compatible with the Master Core. Master Core wakes up surrounded by golden light. Seeing three tiny glowing balls of light explain the Triforce. If a user is worthy of all three pieces, depending on the gravity of his desires, he may utter a wish which would unfailingly come true. The Master Core wakes up and a surge of golden light comes from Master Core's body, the same thing that occurred when Shulk foresaw it, including Mario's group away from Master Giant, and Master Core effortlessly opens a multicolored portal, allowing Master Beast, Master Giant, and the remaining dark creatures to enter the portal. Master Core looks back at the Super Smash Bros. And enters the portal with the three Triforce pieces, all on his hand. The Super Smash Bros. Are stunned. There are injured members such as Donkey Kong, Olimar, Captain Falcon, Fox, and others. Mario, shaking, turns to Rosalina and asks her to warn the Light Realm. Master Core's Legion returns to the Dark Realm, and Master Core raises his hand to the sky. Master Core turns to his fellow Masters, not seeing Master Edges. He presumes Master Edges is dead and continues what he's doing. He says he needs to do the same thing Ganondorf did in order to get to the Light Realm. The Super Smash Bros. Are acting frantically throughout the base as they wonder what's going to happen now, as Link stares blankly ahead, tuning everything else out. Link remembers using the full Triforce to go toe-to-toe with Ganondorf, and returns to reality when Zelda gets his attention. Zelda says they need to get going and asks what he's doing. Link says that the Master Core's drive was greater than his, and now the entire multiverse is at stake. Zelda says they were ambushed, and there's nothing they could have done. Link tells Zelda they're now up against the full force of the Triforce, and asks her who else they know had done that. Zelda is taken back by this, and tells Link that he cannot be bringing up who she thinks he's bringing up. Link says it has to be Ganondorf. Zelda scoffs and reminds Link that he killed him. Link says he knows, but he thinks there's a way to bring him back, telling Zelda that Ganondorf is the only one who can fight the Master Core in his state. Zelda, fuming, tells Link she has the power of Hylia within her, and she can take on the Triforce. Link says it won't work, and that the Master Core says that light only powers him up, which is the power that Zelda has with the power of Hylia. Besides, even with the full might of the light representatives across the universes, Master Core can make his wish with the Triforce before they can do anything to him. It has to be darkness up against him. Zelda freezes, and Link says as much as he doesn't want to do this, it's the only move they have. Rosalina and Mario rush through the Light Realm and find Pit and update him on what happened. The three then frantically try to warn Palutena and the other light representatives. Link and Zelda journey through Hyrule and make it to the abandoned castle, revealing that Zelda borrowed one of the subspace particles. They journey down to the dungeon and find a jar later revealed as Ganondorf's ashes in the jar. In the Hyrule dungeon, Link tells Zelda initially after he woke up from his 100-year slumber, he heard old rumors before he made it to Hyrule talking about methods Ganondorf's troops were planning to raise him from his slumber. Link says that Ganondorf's scholars were coming up with different ways they could awaken Ganondorf when they came across their riskiest method yet. Zelda listens intensely and cautiously, and Link tells her he discovered the method of pouring the blood of Ganondorf's enemy onto Ganondorf's ashes to raise him back to life and power. Link says it was their riskiest method because if they killed and cremated Ganondorf with the method failing, that would mean mean the end of Ganondorf's empire. Zelda says that even if this doesn't work, they are risking everything they worked so hard to defeat for a small chance it would make any kind of difference in the end. Link tells Zelda what she told him earlier. Even if he feels like he's making things worse, he needs to always choose to fight for what he believes in. Link takes the jar of Ganondorf's ashes and they go outside to the center of the kingdom, with Link preparing the jar. Zelda grows apprehensive and prepares magic, and Link pours the ashes from the jar onto the ground. Link tosses the jar aside, takes his Master Sword, and cuts his hand, causing a soft stream of Link's blood to pour down onto Ganondorf's ashes. If you recall this method, I don't know if you guys have played The Legend of Zelda 2, but a similar method is mentioned in that game. Just thought I should throw that out there. Eventually, the ashes catch fire and spread around the area. Eventually, Ganondorf's hand reaches the top of the ground from the depths of his afterlife, which appears to be a hellish environment, and a fiery Ganondorf emerges from the ashes, laughing. Link gets in battle position, protecting Zelda, and telling her she acts like he'd let anything happen to her. Ganondorf ceases laughing and his fires are extinguished, showing Ganondorf resurrected. He looks over at Link, glares at him, and charges at him before Link says they need his help. The Light Realm hears the troubling news of Master Core planning to use the Triforce to infiltrate the Light Realm, and Pit, Rosalina, and Mario return to Chushin, telling them all to come with them. As they retrieve the remaining 3 particles and cross through the portal, Mario asks Rosalina to keep the portal open for Link and Zelda when they come back from Hyrule. Ganondorf asks Link what he means he needs his help. Link tells Ganondorf that the Triforce has become a multiversal threat, and an enemy is going to use it to set the Lord of Darkness, Darken, free from the Light Realm, and also telling him that Ganondorf is responsible for all of this. Ganondorf scoffs at Link's accusation, and Link tells Ganondorf how him entering Calamity awakened Darken, and Ganondorf peering into the different realms with the Triforce allowed this enemy to discover Darken in the Light Realm. Link says he should keep Ganondorf dead, but the Super Smash Bros. Need him to go toe-to-toe with this enemy with the Triforce with his dark power. Ganondorf says as he would do such a thing. Maybe Ganondorf would consider joining this enemy in Darken. Link asks Ganondorf if he wants to know why. Link knows he won't, because what they have planned would not benefit Ganondorf. They want to wipe out everything, including Ganondorf and all of Hyrule. Ganondorf would die like any ordinary man, regardless of what power he thinks he's attained for centuries, and certainly not die in the honorable way Link allowed him to die, standing and watching Hyrule as he took his last breath. Ganondorf asks what Link would do if he rejected Link's request. Link looks into his eyes and tells Ganondorf he'll kill him again the second he says no. Ganondorf scoffs again and looks back at Hyrule Castle and sees the collapsed tower, perplexed by it. Zelda uses the particle to get them back to Chushin and sees Rosalina standing by the light portal. Ganondorf is confused, and Rosalina asks who this is. Zelda introduces Ganondorf and says he's going to help fight the Master Core. Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf join the others in the Light Realm, and everyone overlooks the massive field leading into the great flowing ocean surrounding the Light Realm. When the Super Smash Bros. See Ganondorf with Link and Zelda, they become apprehensive, asking what he's doing here. Link and Zelda say it's okay, that he's going to help fight Master Core with his dark power. Mario approaches Link and whispers, saying this was his big idea, and something Ganondorf absolutely cannot handle is awkward tension, which is exactly what's happening right now. Ganondorf cannot handle the awkward tension between him and the team and groans in annoyance. Ganondorf sees Bowser and asks what he's doing here. Bowser says he's on the team, and Ganondorf cringes, asking why. Bowser then tells him that after going through the whole villain process before, no one was on his side or wanted him to succeed. But once he turned his mindset around and learned to work with others and make internal changes, he realized that pushing through his own weakness with people willing to help was better than the feeling of conquering any kingdom. Ganondorf thinks about this for a moment and refocuses on what's in front of him, trying to shrug that off. Master Core continues concentrating with a full Triforce in the Dark Realm and finally manages to crack through the realm with its golden power. An enormous golden outline of the Triforce appears in front of him, and the same outline appears in the Light Realm, except instead of the golden outline, it's kind of cracks in the sky that have darkness within the cracks, and it stares the Light Realm citizens. Mario, Link, and Samus glare at the outline, and Master Core uses his power to break through the barrier of the light and dark realms. The Super Smash Bros. See Master Core's forces enter, and Kirby notices the hand troops coming from the Dark Realm. Galeem is shown brightening up, stunned, and still concealed by his chains, saying Master Core got in. Darken is then shown, feeling the presence of the Dark Realm. He utters in a cold, sinister voice that his people are here. The light representatives and the Super Smash Bros. Begin colliding with Master Core's forces. Each of the Super Smash Bros. There show off their respective abilities, showcasing everyone, with everyone that is there in the Light Realm. The battle is intense, as the Master Master Beast and Giant join in the battle and start trying to target the civilian towns. Master Core walks with the Triforce and prepares his wish. Samus and Zelda, fighting together, see this and tell everyone to absolutely not let Master Core make his wish with the Triforce. Sonic gets there and hits Master Core several times before being tossed away by Master Core's magic. The Cons then attack with Knuckles and Tails before eventually being tossed away as well. The fierce battle continues as light representatives are able to clear out several dark creatures and hand troops, but eventually get ambushed by Master Giant and Master Beast. Samus has one of the particles and uses it to fire a devastating Phazon blast at the dark creatures in her path. Wario and Waluigi are seen working together and using their powers to hold their own. Darkin continues watching from his cell. Mario and Luigi work together with their firepower to deal powerful damage all around them, and Link, Pit, and Shulk meet up with them, with Link still able to use his Master Sword to slice, dice, and produce energy slices even without the Triforce, which is something he learned in Twilight Princess. Eventually, Mewtwo gets to Master Core with the Subspace Particle, and the two of them clash energies, and they are pretty much an even match for each other, Mewtwo and Master Core. While Mewtwo and Master Core fight, Mario, Luigi, Link, and Pit coordinate their attacks well and are able to hold off several of the dark creatures, and hand troops attacking everyone, with Shulk's power boost from his Monado helping a lot. While Master Core fights Mewtwo, he tells Mewtwo its power is incredibly impressive, and even though each individual subspace particle is very powerful, in comparison to all three pieces of the Triforce plus Master Core's power, it doesn't stand a chance. With that, Master Core overpowers Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is knocked away and overwhelmed by Master Core's magic. Master Core yells for Master Giant and Master Beast to guard him while he prepares his wish. The Masters return to his position and fend off any Super Smash Bros, with Master Core able to fend off any light representatives coming at him. Only Ganondorf is able to break through the Masters, and his sword strikes down on top of Master Core, who manages to guard himself with magic. Both Ganondorf and Master Core strain, with Master Core straining for the first time in this battle against Ganondorf, despite wielding all three pieces of the Triforce. Ganondorf breaks from the attack and fires dark magic at Master Core. Master Core deflects it and scoffs, saying history has repeated itself, with the light once again aligning with the darkness. Ganondorf continues fighting Master Core, saying he doesn't even know why he's fighting. All he knows is that no one will rule over him. Master Core says if only he knew the true power of Gleam and Darken, he would tremble and beg for mercy. And with that, Master Core is able to overpower Ganondorf with his magic and the Triforce. Master Core has the Triforce ready, holding up a shiny holographic version of it in the air, and he prepares to make his wish. The Super Smash Bros. Cannot get to him, as Master Core's forces hold them back, and Master Core wishes for the seal on Darken's prison to be destroyed, and for him to be freed. With that, a great surge of light covers the whole entire light realm, blowing everyone, including his fellow masters, away. When everything settles, all is quiet, as Master Core freezes, clutching his heart, straining. He stumbles back with the Triforce glowing intensely on his hand. He phases in and out of Mario form and true Core form from the beginning of the movie. He gets a vision from the Triforce reminding him that depending on the gravity of his desires, he may utter a wish which would unfailingly come true. Master Core continues to stumble over himself, still clutching his heart and breathing heavily as it's revealed that the gravity of his wish is too much for him to handle. Link gets up, sprinting towards him within the quietness, and thrusts his Master Sword through the Master Core's chest while he's in Mario form. Still quiet, Master Core hugs Link, and Link tosses him to the ground. Link, the bravest man alive, is terrified at what's about to happen and glares down at Master Core in rage. Master Core weakly tells Link that his team showed Master Core their drive, and now Master Core showed them his. It's as he said, it's not because of his power that they'll lose, but it's because of his drive and devotion. Master Core continues lying weakly, A, from his Triforce wish, and 2, being stabbed by Link. And Link returns to the team to help them all recover. The dark creatures and masters approach Master Core, and he tells them all to return to the Dark Realm, and that they're finished here. Still, within the quietness, Darken's cell is revealed, and a stream of light blows up the magical seal. The door slightly opens, and long, dark, scary, pointy fingers softly grasp the outside of the door. The eerie silence continues as the Super Smash Bros. And light representatives help each other up, and eventually a devastating crash appears through the top of the ceiling of the main hall, creating a big enough hole to cover the entire massive Great Hall. Remember those multiple Colosseums I told you about? Well, yeah. 8 giant dark pincers emerge from the hull like spider legs, and more pincers and tentacles form as Darken's eye is seen at the center. Everyone is terrified at the sight of the Lord of Darkness when Link remembers the Triforce with Master Core and tells Zelda. He tells Zelda if he gets all the pieces he can wish for Darken to be destroyed. Zelda tells Link they can't, reminding him what they discussed. Even if it would work on Darken, the gravity of his wish would be too much for Link like it was for Master Core. Link says he has to try. They run over to the dying Master Core with the 3 pieces pieces still on his hand, and Zelda summons the pieces to Link's hand, with the 3 pieces compatible with Link. Link closes the Triforce portal Master Core opened up, and Mario rushes over and asks what he's doing. Link says he has to try something. He then loudly declares his wish for Darkin's death. They wait a second and realize that nothing happened. Mario is apprehensive and asks if something was supposed to happen. Link is freaking out, asking Zelda why nothing happened. Zelda, terrified, says to them that Darkin is more powerful than the Triforce, a mere object of light, and therefore it has no effect on him. Darkin, freed, roars in a distorting and disturbing way, celebrating his freedom when in the distance he sees Master Core lying on the ground, smiling. The light representatives in Super Smash Bros. All charge towards him, with the ones capable of flight all flying towards him when Darkin releases an immense surge of darkness at everyone, sending them all into the ground with a rough impact. Darkin flies over with his eye leading the way and pincers and tentacles behind him, and when he gets to Master Core, his form changes into a human-shaped figure, with him being about as tall as an NBA player. The pincers and tentacles wrap around his body in a human shape, and his primary colors are red and black. The eye that Darkin has gone to his chest area, capable of seeing all around him, and his face looks relatively human, only it's also red and black, and his eyes glow bright red. Darkin kneels next to Master Core, and Master Core weeps, thankful he got to see his master one last time. Darkin acknowledges Master Core and what he did to set him free. His devotion and sacrifice proves to him his sheer loyalty, and says that no mind-controlled subordinate of his will ever have the drive he had again. Master Core, overwhelmed with emotion, thanks him. Darkin then asks where Galeem is. Galeem is shown still stuck in the Dark Realm, when lightning is briefly shown in the background. The Super Smash Bros. Charge at Darkin, and Darkin recognizes this team. He sees the subspace particles with them, smiles and says farewell to Master Core before he creates his own portal by creating cracks in the sky in front of him and the cracks shattering like glass. Master Core returns to his core form and his body disintegrates. Darkin goes through to the Dark Realm and reassembles the pieces of the sky together. The Super Smash Bros. Regroup and frantically come up with a plan. Mario, Link, and Samus lead the plan and say they need to return to Chushin and return the particles to the base until they know what Darkin is planning, and some of them will need to go to the Dark Realm to find out what it is he's planning. Ganondorf unwillingly offers to go to the Dark Realm and says even if he just has a piece of the Triforce, he should still be powerful enough to go there. Link asks if he's really suggesting that they give him a piece of the Triforce, and Ganondorf asks if they want to know what Darkin is planning or not. Zelda hesitantly gives Ganondorf the Triforce of Power, and Samus, Luigi, Ness, and Shulk offer to go with Ganondorf. Before Ganondorf opens a portal to the Dark Realm, Rosalina creates a light portal to return to Chushin, and the Smash Bros. Return the particles to the vaults within their base. In the room with the Galeem vs. Darkin wall art that Pit showed everyone earlier, the yin and yang symbol in the room shows the black dot and the white slowly disappearing, and the black part of the symbol start overlapping into the white. In the Dark Realm, Darkin maintains his human-like form and eventually sees Galeem slowly regaining his power from being in the presence of darkness. Darkin smiles until he sees guards sent by the gods of darkness to stop Darkin. Darkin approaches them, finally seeing the chains securing Galeem, and Darkin, furious, asks what they did to Galeem. The guards charge at Darkin, and Darkin summons 4 pincers from his back, similar to how Spider-Man looks with his iron spider suit, except they're longer and more deadly. And so Darkin summons his 4 pincers from his back, and he immediately impales one of the guards to the ground with the pincer. Pure darkness flows through the guard, and the guard loses all life in its body. The 3 other guards flank Darkin, but Darkin easily deflects their attacks, picking them off one by one. The last remaining guard tells Darkin he's insane, and Darkin asks how. The gods made him this way. The guard responds, telling Darkin despite his differences with Galeem, he was supposed to help maintain balance. Darkin says the only balance is unity, and the light and darkness coexisting only separates that. Darkin then takes another one of his pincers and slices the bottom of the guard's torso, splitting the guard in half. The guard, shrieking in pain, tries to crawl away from Darkin. Darkin approaches the guard when the guard begs him for mercy. Darkin scoffs and asks that these guards were some kind of gods of darkness, correct? The guard can only look at him in terror and pain when Darkin says that a god that begs for mercy is no god at all. Darkin clenches his fist, and numerous large spikes appear from the ground and impale the final guard in several places. Darkin leaves the dead guards there and approaches Galeem. Galeem's dim light brightens up and seemingly starts shaking when he sees Darkin. Ganondorf's portal makes it to the Dark Realm, and he, Samus, Ness, Shulk, and Luigi find a spot to watch the two encounter from afar. Darkin greets Galeem as his old friend, and Galeem asks if Darkin's here to kill him. Darkin says of course not. Darkin sees Galeem as nothing less than his equal. Darkin tells Galeem that in the millennia he has been trapped in the light realm, he has grown an appreciation for the light and the power that his adversary beholds. Also mentioning the subspace particles now on Chushin. Galeem angrily asks what he's suggesting, to continue their war once again and end countless more lives like before. Darton says in his isolation, he sought to kill the gods for what they did to them, and now he wants Galeem's help. Galeem scoffs and clarifies, help? Darton says it's time to realize that the only ones in their way are each other, but he wants their fighting to end. Darton uses his power to destroy the chains containing Galeem, and Galeem collapses to the ground, freed from his bondage. The Super Smash Bros. Team in the Dark Realm is stunned by this. Galeem asks Darton what it is he wants to do, and Darton says he wants to use Galeem's power to act as the new gods. Before Galeem can answer, Darton summons dark magic and begins fusing it with Galeem's light magic. Galeem is in pain, and Samus frantically tells them they have to go back to Chushin now. Ganondorf takes his team back to Chushin, and they update everyone on what happened between Galeem and Darton's encounter. The team frantically tries to work out what they think they should do, and some of the team members offer to go back to their universes to find any other fighters or artifacts they may need. The Fire Emblem warriors, Kirby, Meta Knight, Olimar, taking the Ice Climbers with them. Tails, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Yoshi, Birdo, the Cons, and Pikachu return to their respective universes as Pit and Rosalina return to the Light Realm to warn the Light representatives. With the teams separated, Mario asks Link how they're supposed to even think about ways to fight Galeem and Darkin if even the Triforce didn't work on Darkin. The Super Smash Bros. Team is anxious and keeps discussing possibilities, with Samus and Luigi bringing up the most ideas. But all of a sudden, Schultz strains and mutters in pain, getting a glimpse of a vision of the Super Smash Bros. Base getting pierced by numerous razor-sharp, exploding dark objects. Schultz frantically looks out the window and sees an outline of a lone person standing, levitating in the air far away from the base. Schultz charges towards the team, screaming for everyone to get down. All of a sudden, the base is bombarded by those same objects that Schultz saw in his vision. They all explode, sending the remaining members of the Super Smash Bros. Flying, with Mario desperately trying to protect Peach. One of the sharp objects crashes right through the large Smash Ball logo displayed on the base, shattering it completely. The dust finally settles, and Mario, still holding Peach, looks around at the base in which the main floor has been leveled completely, with the subspace portals in the base still intact. Link rushes over to Zelda and makes sure she's okay. No one there died from the attack, but some of them are pretty banged up. Schultz looks back up at the figure who caused that, and the figure starts to slowly descend towards the now destroyed top of the base, still unrevealed other than his stretched out, clawed, pitch black hand fading into a light gray color past his forearm. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Link, Zelda, Bowser, Ganondorf, Samus, Fox, Falco, Lucas, Ness, Red, Captain Falcon, Sonic, Knuckles, Schultz, and Mewtwo stay behind and watch as the figure lands on the ground, creating a crater around his feet as it's slowly revealed to be an 8'6" being with a massively strong build, light gray, almost white skin, with dark clawed hands, parts of light and dark armor around his body, the colors of the yin and yang symbol on his chest, and a face similar to Thanos or Darkseid, with glowing bright blue eyes, and with armor covering the top and sides of his face. In his right hand, he wields a peculiar spear, with blades with the design of a moon crescent on one side, and on the other side, half of a spiky ball as if representing the sun. Basically, if you guys want to get a good visual on this guy, here he is. The only reason it looked somewhat good is because I did an outline on another being. I think it was a Darkseid photo, but I know other than that it's not the best drawing, but I just want you guys to get a visual on this guy, on this absolute madman. And you guys are about to find out who this guy is. The Super Smash Bros. All stare in terror, and Luigi asks what that is. Mario tells Sonic they need the subspace particles now. Link looks at Mario saying they absolutely have to keep the particles away from this guy, reminding him what Taboo was going to do with them. Mario says fine, they'll get 2 of the particles to fight here and keep the other 2 in the vault to be guarded. Link says they have to make this count, and Sonic nods, speeding to the vault below the base to get the particles. Sonic gets to the vault and looks at the particles. The figure, grinning ear to ear, says with a deep, booming voice, with the power of light, he can sense the subspace particles within this realm, and that they're here. The figure turns to the team and politely asks for them. Ganondorf observes this figure, and he himself scared. He remembers what Darkin did with Galeem in the Dark Realm and concludes that this is Galeem and Darkin, fused together as one being. Sonic takes 2 of the particles, straining but transforming into Super Sonic. The fusion of Galeem and Darkin summons both 4 dark pincers from his back as well as Galeem's light wings. He officially declares himself as day and night, life and death, the embodiment of light and darkness, and the orchestrator of reality itself. He is Darkleam. Darkleam walks toward them as his blue eyes become red and says he won't ask for the particles a second time. Mario shouts for him to come get them then. All of a sudden, Supersonic comes in, giving one of the particles to Mario in slowed down time, and he begins running laps around this figure at the speed of light, producing yellow light all around Sonic and Darkleam. Darkleam is taken back by this and tries to find Supersonic's body and the trail of lightning he leaves behind. Mario notices he now has the particle, but can't do anything as he worries about hitting Sonic with his own attacks. Darkleam concentrates, focusing on Sonic's movement patterns. He readies his spear and thrusts it right into Sonic's chest, pinning Sonic to the ground and Sonic screaming in pain. The Super Smash Bros. All cry out in devastation and all charge at once, with Mario sending a large blast of fire at Darkleam with the particle. Darkleam deflects it back to Mario, knocking the subspace particle from him to Peach, and Knuckles, full of rage, flies at Darkleam with his fists out ready to strike. However, Darkleam prepares his own fist and counters Knuckles' powerful fist with his own, shattering every bone in Knuckles' hands. Knuckles cries out in pain and goes flying past Darkleam into a section of the destroyed building. Sonic, with the spear still in his chest, weakly takes the other subspace particle and tries to throw it to Samus before it's intercepted by Darkleam, officially claiming the first particle. Peach uses the particle that she now has to summon a powerful heart barrier around Darkleam's body, with Darkleam straining and trying to get free. Mario cries no to Peach, and Darkleam eventually breaks out of the barrier, knocking Peach back in the subspace particle, going to Bowser, who promptly turns into Giga Bowser and plunging his fist into Darkleam, who catches his fist. Sonic sees that his skin is turning gray and his body seems to deteriorate. Sonic looks back at Knuckles and apologizes that he might not make it back to Green Hills for a while. Knuckles weakly cries no and watches Sonic's body become lifeless and Sonic's eyes become all white. Mario helps Peach recover and carries her to the Mushroom Kingdom portal on Chushin. Peach frantically asks what he's doing. Mario, on the verge of tears by looking at what happened to Sonic, tells Peach he cannot let that happen to her. Peach tries to tell Mario she can still fight and she needs to help out. Mario puts his hands on her shoulders and tells her she needs to return to the Mushroom Kingdom. Peach tries to protest, but Mario cuts her off and Mario says they're not going to win. It's over, and he cannot watch Peach suffer like that. Mario promises if he makes it through this battle, he'll come back for her and spend his last moments with her. Peach continues trying to protest, but Mario activates the post for the portals and forces Peach in the portal to return to the Mushroom Kingdom. Darkleam, marveling at the first particle, sees the portals and cuts off the subspace energy to them. Still holding Giga Bowser's punch, he uses his fist to slam Giga Bowser to the ground. Several fighters, including Peach, start approaching the portals after having found things that could help them, but realize that the scanner won't let them back into Chushin. Peach bangs on the scanner, begging it to let her back into Chushin. Mario has a cold expression, but turns back around at Darkleam with fire coming from his eyes, with his cold expression unchanged. Mario rejoins the group and tells them they need a line of defense to guard the particles in the vault. The group understands, and everyone gets in different positions spread throughout the facility in order to prevent Darkleam from getting the particles. The ones left at the top are Mario, Luigi, Link, Shulk, Zelda, Ganondorf, and an unconscious Giga Bowser, who has reverted to Bowser with the second subspace particle. Darkleam picks up Bowser, retrieves the second particle, and punches him hard into the ground, knocking Bowser out instantly. The Smash Bros. Charge at Darkleam as he holds up the particle like this, as an advanced arrow pierces through the particle and lands back in Link's hand as he catches up to the arrow, with Link recovering the particle. The team attacks from different directions, and Shulk is able to sneak some hits in before Darkleam catches Shulk by the head and brings Shulk's head to his knee for a devastating knee attack. Darkleam tosses Shulk aside and counters Luigi's kick. He catches Luigi's leg and throws Luigi what seems like several hundred feet away from the base. Ness, in the lower area, looks out of an interior balcony and sees Luigi being flung away in the sky. Ness hurriedly cries for him and uses PK Thunder to get to Luigi to try and bring him back. Ness has a red rope creature from his universe that clings onto Luigi, but Ness ends up soaring through the sky with Luigi, unable to bring Luigi back. Mario is devastated, and he jumps at Darkleam with great speed. Darkleam dodges Mario's punch, catches his leg, and Mario is slammed into the ground with immense force. With Mario unable to move, Darkleam stomps Mario clear through the ground of the base, and Mario lands in an unknown area within the base and can no longer fight. Darkleam, looking away from Link at Zelda, who has the Triforce of Wisdom and is preparing an attack, Zelda and Darkleam clash magical blasts at each other, and laughing, Darkleam easily overpowers Zelda and sends her flying as well. Link, full of rage with the second particle, uses his superhuman abilities abilities to dodge Darkleem's lunges with his punches and spear attacks. Link bombards Darkleem with his Master Sword, and they have a fierce battle, at least to Link. Darkleem seems to be toying with him, but is impressed as he watches Link's movements with the particle and Triforce of Courage with him. Link leaps away to reposition himself, firing an electric arrow at Darkleem, in which he catches. The arrow releases electricity, but only seems to tickle Darkleem. Darkleem says that he recognizes Link from the Dark Realm, when the realms were all briefly opened, and when his team visited him. He says that Link has a resilience to him that he saw in the Master Core, and he could use something like that. Link screams in rage and charges at him again. He gets in position to fire an arrow through Darkleem's mouth from each side of his face. So the arrow goes in like this, and it ends up on this side of his face. But Darkleem simply pulls the arrow out of his mouth as his skin regrows. Link is stunned, and Darkleem knocks Link away again. Darkleem tells Link to look around him at his friends. They are up against the first and most powerful created beings, and the entire multiverse bonded together. How can they possibly hope to defeat him when not even the gods could do so? The gods won't protect them. Link gets up and gets in battle position, saying that if the gods can't protect them, then they'll just do it themselves. Link again lunges at Darkleem with everything he has, and Darkleem says how ignorant. Link strikes multiple times with his Master Sword, and eventually Darkleem takes his spear and begins bashing the Master Sword multiple times. Link gets on the defensive as he sees cracks forming in his sword. Darkleem begins screaming as he continues striking Link's sword, and it takes all of Link's strength to not be overwhelmed by it. Eventually, on the last strike, Link jumps up trying to get one last hit on Darkleem when the blade of the sword breaks off, leaving Link with only the hilt of the Master Sword. Link is able to get a cut on Darkleem's face with the remainder of the broken blade, but Link lands vulnerable, and Darkleem kicks Link, sending him flying with Link's spine directly hitting the edge of a boulder, with Link's body arching over the boulder, making a loud sudden cracking noise as his spine is shattered, and now Link is unable to move. Darkleem approaches Link and stands over him. He says it's a shame he had to land like that. Now he'll most likely never walk again. Link continues seething in pain as Darkleem takes the second subspace particle from Link, and Darkleem says as resilient as he is mentally, there's nothing Link can do for him physically now, and starts to walk away when Ganondorf calls out to him. Darkleem turns to Ganondorf, glaring, and Ganondorf has his hands up as a sign of peace. Ganondorf says he was brought here against his will, and he does not associate himself with these weaklings. Ganondorf and Link briefly make eye contact, and says he acknowledges Darkleem as a being of immense power. He says he wishes to pledge himself to Darkleem's teachings and Legion, so Ganondorf can prove himself as a valuable asset. Ganondorf is cut off, as Darkleem throws his spear directly into Ganondorf's abdomen, pinning him against a large boulder. Ganondorf groans in pain as he gets impaled to the boulder. Darkleem continues glaring as he walks toward Ganondorf as Ganondorf attempts to get the spear out of him and guide his body out of it. Darkleem asks Ganondorf, who he thinks he's calling weak when the only one who couldn't stand up to him in a fight was him. Ganondorf continues trying to step out of the spear as he doesn't have the strength to pull the spear out of him, and Darkleem bellows that Ganondorf isn't going anywhere. Darkleem plunges a heavy kick into Ganondorf, forcing him back into the boulder, with Ganondorf in immense pain and his skin starting to deteriorate from Darkleem's spear. Darkleem acknowledges that he's aware that Ganondorf was the one who allowed Master Core to find out about his whereabouts, but that's where any redeeming qualities about Ganondorf end. Darkleem says he's been around long enough to know exactly what kind of man Ganondorf is. A cowardly fraud of a king, a backstabber incapable of loyalty to anyone but himself, and a pest who demands the respect of a god. Ganondorf continues straining as he fights back against his emotions. Darkleem tells him he has no place in his empire for anyone not willing to give him anything less than absolute devotion and loyalty. Finally, Ganondorf looks up at Darkleem with a crazed expression, and seething with anger, Ganondorf tells Darkleem he hates blind faith. Ganondorf then charges up a fist of darkness and flings a powerful punch towards Darkleem's face before Darkleem catches his fist effortlessly. Ganondorf is stunned, and Darkleem motions Ganondorf's hand to the side, and he punches Ganondorf square in the face so hard that the boulder Ganondorf is against forms heavy cracks in it from the impact. Ganondorf stares blankly, with a single tear falling and trickling down his face and falling to the ground. Ganondorf's body becomes lifeless, and his eyes become all white with his skin deteriorated as well. Darkleem takes his spear out of Ganondorf, and Ganondorf falls through the debris of the shattered boulder behind him and gets buried by the debris. Link is stunned and rolls off of the boulder, again challenging Darkleem while he army crawls on the ground. Darkleem ignores Link and walks away and proceeds through the base. Link is stunned and weakly tells the Super Smash Bros. Through his wristband that this guy got through them, and to protect the particles by any means necessary. Captain Falcon and Samus guard the last two particles, and Captain Falcon says they need to get the particles as far away as possible. Samus tells him there will be nowhere the particles can go that Darkling won't be able to get to. He then asks what they're supposed to do, and Samus repeats Link, saying they protect the particles by all means necessary. Darkling walks through the base, and eventually gets ambushed by Fox and Falco. Fox and Falco are highly agile, and can sneak in quick attacks on Darkling. Darkling quickly learns their movements as Shulk joins in the fight as well. Darkling pierces Falco first, and Falco's body loses life and his body gets tossed away. Fox, entering a wild fury, tries to bombard Darkling with attacks before Darkling eventually gets Fox too, tossing his lifeless body to the other side of the room. Shulk puts up a good fight with the Monado, but is also eventually overpowered as well, with Darkling punching Shulk away with immense force, and with Shulk being spared by Darkling. Mewtwo then ambushes Darkling, and the two of them fire beams of their respective energies at each other. However, Darkling notices the concentration and power of Mewtwo's blast, and tells Mewtwo that its psychic energy seems incredibly weak compared to its dark power. Does that sound familiar to Pokemon rules? Darkling then pushes his dark power from his spear, engulfing Mewtwo and deteriorating Mewtwo's body as well, and making Mewtwo's body lose life. Darkling enters a hallway in the next room and immediately gets hit by PK Freeze from Lucas. He strains and eventually breaks out of the cold energy freezing around him. Red fights with him, sending out Yveltal to match Darkling's dark energy. Darkling and Yveltal clash as Lucas continues bombarding Darkling with PK attacks. Darkling strains against Yveltal, but eventually summons his pincers to knock away Yveltal and Red, pinning them against the side of the wall. As Red sees Yveltal suffering and suffocating from the pincers that are holding them back, Red's finally able to return Yveltal to its Pokeball, and Lucas repeatedly sends PK fire attacks to Darkling, throwing him off. Enraged, Darkling sends his two remaining dark pincers at Lucas. Lucas is able to deflect one of them, but eventually gets pierced in the shoulder with the other pincer. Red cries no, and Lucas gets hoisted into the air by his shoulder, screaming in pain from being stabbed by the pincer. Darkling sends dark energy directly into Lucas's body, and Lucas's eyes and veins become all black. Darkling lets go of Lucas, and he falls onto the ground, terrified by what happened to him. Red is stunned, saying Lucas's name, and Lucas, on the verge of tears, tells Red that he's scared. A brief dark blast comes from Lucas, engulfing both him and Red, and their bodies also deteriorating with their eyes becoming all white. Darkling proceeds through the base, and eventually gets to the hangar before the vault. There he sees Captain Falcon with the third subspace particle, with orange golden energy radiating from him. Darkling is impressed, and the two approach each other. Darkling acknowledges the powerful presence Captain Falcon gives off with the help of the particle, and Captain Falcon says it's because he gives his heart for the things he believes in. Darkling and Captain Falcon stare at each other, and they begin their fight. Their fight is intense, and Darkling and Captain Falcon collide fists, sending a shockwave and shattering the windows in the hangar area. Captain Falcon is forced on the defensive, but is able to maneuver himself around Darkling's fatal attacks, and Captain Falcon sneaks in several powerful attacks. Eventually, Captain Falcon summons his Falcon Flyer. It crashes through the hangar and pins Darkling against the opposite wall, with the beak of the front piercing Darkling's abdomen. With the kinetic force powerful enough to lift the massive halberd and the full thrusters powered on, Darkling strains as he tries to push back against the overwhelming force of the Falcon Flyer. Captain Falcon leaps into the cockpit and pushes the thrusters even farther, attempting to fully impale Darkling with the Falcon Flyer. Darkling roars and eventually pushes the Falcon Flyer out of him as Captain Falcon resists. Darkling holds the Falcon Flyer in the air and slams it on the ground upside down. Captain Falcon at the bottom of the ship is barely conscious, and Darkling drags him out from beneath his ship. Darkling grabs hold of his right arm and hoists him into the air. Captain Falcon screams in pain as Darkling tightens his grip. Captain Falcon then uses all his strength and the power of the particle to do a final Falcon punch. Darkling catches the punch with the force of the power of the punch, creating another shockwave. Darkling then snaps his wrist, lets go of Captain Falcon, and pierces him in the chest before Captain Falcon lands on the ground. Captain Falcon freezes as his broken helmet crumbles, revealing Captain Falcon's full face, and Darkling yanks his spear out. Captain Falcon's skin begins deteriorating. He stumbles back while reaching out to Darkling, and collapses onto the ground, lifeless, with all white eyes, and Darkling's pierced abdomen restores. Darkling continues, and eventually makes it to the entrance of the vault where Samus ambushes him. Samus uses several of her gadgets to find windows to attack while avoiding Darkling's attacks. Samus gets her energy blade out and clashes with Darkling's spear. Darkling eventually releases a shockwave of light, and Samus gets sent flying to the door of the vault. Samus prepares the subspace particle helping power her suit and the Phazon power, and she fires a devastating subspace particle combined with Phazon beam at Darkling as he uses his spear to create a countering beam of dark light and lightning. The energy collides, and Darkling strains. Samus gives everything she has, starting to make her suit unstable and compromises the extra shield armor. Darkling sees this window of opportunity, prepares his spear while it counters Samus's power, and with his pure strength, he flings his spear, cutting right through Samus's beam, and it pierces Samus's chest, right through her durable armor, and it pins her against the door to the vault. Samus sits quietly, straining, as Darkling's spear pierces right through Samus's chest and the door. She continues quietly straining, with the spear piercing her as Darkling approaches her. Darkling says she's only a normal human, though she was able to use her resourcefulness and knowledge in advanced technology to put on such an impressive display. He kneels down next to her and says that she even had the power to harness one of the particles. Samus tries to fight back, as Darkling forcefully opens the latch in her suit containing the particle, and Darkling now uses magic to possess all 4 subspace particles. Darkling tells her not to feel bad about herself, saying that her whole team put on an impressive show for as long as they lasted. But all of a sudden, Samus points her arm cannon at Darkling's face and fires a missile. Darkling catches the missile with his teeth in the blink of an eye and closes his mouth with the missile detonating in his mouth, creating a brief flash from inside his mouth, leaving him completely unfazed. Samus is stunned, and Darkling puts his face next to hers, softly blowing the smoke from the missile from the inside of his mouth at the lens of her helmet like a cigarette. Samus's arms then collapse at her sides, completely defeated as Darkling stands up. Darkling says so much potential, but they all chose to fight for a meaningless cause and defy him. He takes his spear out from Samus and says she probably can't hear him anymore. He removes Samus's helmet, revealing Samus's lifeless and deteriorated face with all white eyes. He tosses the helmet aside and begins activating the particles. Zelda finally recovers and frantically kneels next to Link, still lying down and practically crippled. Darkling brings himself back to the surface of the base and uses the particles to create mini portals for the few remaining fighters he left alive. Aside from their physical injuries, there is nothing they can do against Darkling as he stands before them with all 4 subspace particles. Darkling tells them that he has dreamed of this day for a long time, to spread darkness everywhere with the power of light. He says he will restart society all around the multiverse and unite their minds under one name: Darkling. Darkling looks directly at the injured fighters and says the only balance that will exist is the one who controls it, the one who commands both light and darkness. He says that these remaining fighters in every existing lifeform will suffer the same fate as their fallen friends, with the first individual born in the darkness sparking the life of his new empire. But before he does anything, Darkling uses the particles again and tells the fighters before that happens though, he will send everyone here back to their respective universes to say their final goodbyes. Darkling restores the subspace energy flowing within the base, and the portals in the base suck their respective fighters in it. Link and Zelda land in the meadow pasture overlooking Hyrule, with Link again groaning in pain from the impact. Shulk back to Bionis, and Mario and Bowser back to the Mushroom Kingdom. By then, Peach gathered everyone from the team from the Mushroom Kingdom and is horrified by how beaten up Mario is. Darkling gets to the center of the Super Smash Bros. Base, or I guess former, and he powers his spear with the power of the 4 subspace particles, and he gives his spear immense power as a massive beam of dark light shoots up from him into the sky. Darkling's eyes turn red as he focuses intensely. Mario, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Birdo, Wario, Waluigi, with Donkey Kong supporting Bowser's weight, stand in the middle of Toad Town as everyone gets a chill and feeling of uncertainty. Mario stares out in desperation, begging anyone to do something. Darkling prepares his spear, glimmering with power, and straining, he thrusts his particle-infused spear into the surface of the base, sending out a multiversal level darkness blast from the base, beginning to swallow up surrounding universes, plural, and the occupants there suffering the same fate, their bodies deteriorating and their eyes becoming all white. The residents of the Mushroom Kingdom see a wave of darkness starting to form, and Mario, shaking, speaks into his Smash Ball wristband, asking if there's anyone else out there to get away and somehow survive this, and that they weren't ready for something like this, as the other Smash Bros. Fighters from the Mushroom Kingdom all scatter, trying to find shelter for people, leaving Mario there standing alone in the middle of Toad Town. The wall art in the light realm near Darken's former cell briefly shows the yin and yang symbol, with the black dot completely removed from the white section and the circular symbol becoming all black, creating the new balance. The darkness blast eventually reaches the Mushroom Kingdom, and Mario stares out blankly as his skin turns gray, and it also deteriorates, and the life leaves his eyes, gradually becoming all white. Mario eventually falls to his knees, lifeless, with the darkness blast engulfing the multiverse. And with that, epilogue. And everyone, there is no post-credit scene, except for one tiny thing. Mario's hat is seen falling to the ground softly. When Mario's hat lands on the ground, a brief moment passes before Mario's hat is destroyed by a powerful, sudden, concentrated strike of lightning. And that is it for the second Super Smash Bros. Movie. Oh my gosh. Guys, there was one more video after this, and it's over. I hope you guys have been having a blast with this so far. I mean, obviously, this ending was about as bad as it gets, but I hope you guys are ready for the final installment of this, and I hope you guys are ready to see where Darkleem's empire leads, and seeing how much of a beast that this man is. You guys think that Darkleem was a beast in this short little section of the story? Wait till you guys see him in the next story. I'm already working on it. I mean, what else can I say, really? Because if I say anything or tease anything about the next video, it will most likely be spoilers. But all I can say is this. You guys watching these videos so far, I can promise you guys an absolute crazy ending. That is all I'm going to say about the last thing. But that was Super Smash Bros. World of Light and Darkness Part 1. Again, Part 2 will conclude the saga. And again, I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far, because these ideas that I'm having, it's crazy. And I also hope you guys enjoyed what I did with Master Core's character. Kind of making him like Ebony Maw from Infinity War for Thanos, but just giving him such a bigger role in teaching everyone how terrifying pure devotion and drive can be, especially if it's from a villain that can wield the full Triforce because of these ambitions. So I hope you guys liked what I did with Master Core. He's dead though, but now Darkleem gets to take his place in the final installment of this. So again, I hope you're ready, because I am. So everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit the like button normally and subscribe to join the herd. Become a VIP herd member today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!